Standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
It feels so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful, give yourself a round of applause. It's so lovely. Everyone's so lovely.
We always do about this time.
Brian, you're drunk. You're drunk.
Where you going? Nowhere.
All right, guys, welcome back. How are we? Welcome back to Blunt Politics. I am Boston Brian. I appreciate you joining me. Before we start, please make sure you hit the like button, share the stream, subscribe to the channel. That would be fantastic. There are many ways for you to help this stream, and I appreciate all you guys for doing so throughout the stream. You guys have been fantastic and continue to be fantastic. Lots to cover. Lots has happened. It's crazy that I could add so many shows, but still feel like I'm not doing enough to cover the news. But yeah, so much to get through, from Russia strikes to Trump's bogus moldy bill to Gavin Newsom's $787 million lawsuit against Fox News. We got Fetterman voting with Republicans as far as not allowing Trump the powers to strike Iran at will on his own again. Yeah, lots to get into, lots to cover. Republicans react in a bigoted, racist, fascist, authoritarian way towards Zohran Mamdani's victory in New York. So we're going to be taking a look at a little reaction from Charlie Kirk, Megyn Kelly. I know that Don Jr. had something to say on it. So we're going to get into all of that and a lot more. But like I said, before we do, please hit the thumbs up button. There is also a way underneath me to become a channel member. I believe for $2.99 a month, you can become a channel member for this channel. You can help this channel grow. Continue to watch these streams become more frequent. The videos that I put out become more frequent. Thank you to everybody that's shown love and support on the short form videos that I've been putting out. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, let's get into the chat here. Say thank you to everybody. First off, thank you, mods. I appreciate you. Crema, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Tanya, how are you? Appreciate you, Rocks. Thank you so much. Thank you, as always, to the mods for keeping the chat a safe and healthy place to, to engage in discourse. Because without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. They wouldn't allow me to. So let's see here. We got Laurie. How are you? Good morning to you. In Chicagoland, how's it going? How are you, Triplia? Hi, everybody on Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, the whole 9 yards. Like, share, subscribe, whatever it is, wherever you're watching. Please make sure you do that. That would be fantastic. Ask, how are you? What's going on? 37 likes. Let's see if we can get that up. Nicole, how are you? Pam, how are you on Facebook? Thank you so much for being here. Mozart, what's going on? For some reason, it's changing. Did everybody change their names? Or am I, for some reason, now it says at Fairy Tanya. Like, am I being crazy? Now it's at you don't like my, like, this just changed something on YouTube, on StreamYard, maybe? I'm not sure. But Mr. Spark, thank you so much for being here. Hi, Nina, how are you? Again, Mark, thank you so much for being here. Lisa, what's going on? Whoa, look at that whopper. Look at that whopper. That's a good one. That's a good one. We catching fish like that. I love fishing. I love fishing. But yeah, I hope everybody's well. Thank you again so much for tuning in. Hey, Just Julie, how are you, moms? What's going on? Noah Dez, as usual. Thank you. Don C from Massachusetts. Let's go. It's weird being, you being the only one to be able to say you're now streaming from Massachusetts, or at least saying hello from Massachusetts. What up, BT? Did I see you're in Did I see you're in the UK? Tipping back a few points. Is that what I synced? Well, I hope you're enjoying yourself. Rosanna, thank you so much. We are the resistance. Let's fucking go. I love this community. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you for always being here and contributing. I hope you and Nordez are well. Jenny, what's up, Jenny? How are you? How's everybody doing? What do you guys think about the big moldy bogus bill in its preliminary making its way through Senate? You guys have any thoughts, comments, concerns? I'm sure you do. Tom and Victoria in the house. Let's go. What's up, guys? How are you? Appreciate you. Hi, Diane. Where are you? Where'd you go? I saw you. Hi, Denise. How are you? Hi, Diane. What's going on? El Rondo. Appreciate you, Terry. Jimbo. What's up, buddy? What's going on? Vicky. What up, Vic? What's up, Wes? How are you, buddy? What's going on? 89312. How are you? Good morning to you as well. What's up, Luis? Thanks for making Sundays better since it's the only day Hal doesn't live stream. The greatest show. You are the second. Luis, I think I'm like, at this point, I'm trying to work on a cold opening for the show that I think I'm like the 37th, maybe the 38th best progressive live stream on the internet. I got to check the facts and figures again, though. I want to be, I want to make sure I'm accurate. What's up, Chris? What's up, buddy? How are you? Let it go through. The only way people are going to figure this shit out is through unbearable pain. Unfortunately, it does seem like that is the case. Again, we're also seeing a continued, I want to say an uptick, but just a continued stretch of, ICE raids, ICE detentions of pregnant U.S. citizens, of U.S. citizens. I mean, we'll go through it. Trump obviously was loving the SCOTUS ruling about birthright citizenship. Obviously, that is a huge affront to, the powers that be in the lower courts. Obviously, making the ruling that basically they have no power, the lower courts, to put in place an injunction that would stop any of Donald Trump's illegal executive orders as it pertains to immigration. So that's not very. You are my favorite. Thank you, Sheldon. I appreciate that. Actually, let's get into. Let me show you a little bit of what I wanted to cover today. Let me see if I can share screen. Do this. Do a little bit of this. Add it to the stage and do a little bit of that. Actually, you guys said you liked looking at it better this way. Let me get a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the chat. Is it this way? Thumbs up would be this way. Thumbs down, I guess, would be this way. So you guys let me know. But we'll start off by checking this out. So, as Republicans and the GOP and these hack commentators online love to and continue to praise Donald Trump for some fantasy peace that exists in the world right now. Yet behind the scenes, Vladimir Putin has continued, if not ramped up, his strikes against Ukraine. Again, overnight, Russia launches the biggest aerial attack since the start of the war, Ukraine says. Russia, it says right here, Russia launched its biggest aerial attack against Ukraine overnight. Ukrainian officials said Sunday, part of an escalating bombing campaign that has further dashed hopes for a breakthrough in efforts to end the 3-year-old war. You guys, the way you have it now looks better, Brian? Okay. All right. The chat has spoken. Oh, thank you, Colleen. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Sending love, listening to the reading of the BBB on PBS. Take care, all. All right. Appreciate that, Colleen. Thank you so much. Appreciate you staying informed. Again, just a fine example of some of the listeners or all of the listeners here at Blunt Politics just doing what it takes to stay informed so they know exactly what's going on. And yes, I do very much concur with that, Atrocious. Very much. Heroyam Slava. I personally like a bigger Brian than news. All right. Like I said, like I said, the chat has spoken. So that's just one of the stories we'll be diving into. Like I said, we'll also be diving into the Gavin Newsom lawsuit against Fox News, which, say what you will, and I have said in recently about Gavin Newsom and his tactics that he was taking as far as his podcast, who he was speaking to, his stances, and kind of his step back from trans rights, as it were. But it's good to see, and I love to see that he is now taking it to Fox News. That he is now, taking the fight directly to Fox News and hitting them, or at least attempting to hit him in the wallet, just like Dominion hit them in the wallet over their election lies and falsehoods in the 2020 election. We'll take a look at some of the timeline and the video coverage and what Jesse Waters said on Fox, what Gavin Newsom said in return, what this lawsuit means about free speech, protection, it actually protecting, the media, as far as, making it keeping it a credible source that people can rely upon for their daily news and don't have to be skeptical, don't have to second guess, don't have to automatically be like, well, that doesn't seem right, I'm going to have to go check that out, and at least 4 more sources, which, in all fairness, is what you should be doing anyway, regardless of the news source or regardless of the channel it is. You always want to make sure that you're checking that out and fact checking that against other news sources and see if the facts line up, see if the dates and times line up. You can pretty much tell if you see in 4 or 5 different reputable news sources the same dates, times, stories, events, that you can pretty much count that as fact. But if you see it posted 7 different ways by 7 different outlets, the times and the dates don't match up, the names and the dates don't match up, then there's obviously more research that needs to be done as far as making sure that story is correct and factual. So we'll be taking a look at that. Obviously, the big news is the Trump big moldy, stanky bill that cleared the Senate hurdle, the first Senate hurdle, I should say. The key procedural hurdle was cleared hours after the debate opened. Key U.S. politics stories from the 28th. So we'll be taking a look at that after a big scramble in the Senate. Republicans voted on Saturday to advance Trump's signature moldy, shitty, crusty bill with a 51-49 vote. We'll be taking a look at this story from Haaretz. Again, going along the lines of Donald Trump's piece that he supposedly has right now going, and there's the strength that he showed, which is somehow keeping peace in the world. All bullshit, lies, propaganda, we know. But as far as what Bibi Netanyahu, the IDF, and what Israel continues to do, this is a Haaretz story talking about how basically IDF officers and soldiers told Haaretz they were ordered to fire at unarmed crowds near food distribution sites in Gaza, even when no threat was present. Hundreds of Palestinians have been killed, prompting the military prosecution to call for a review into possible war crimes. Netanyahu cards reject claims, call them blood libels. This is from, again, Haaretz, an Israeli newspaper, an Israeli outlet. We'll also be taking a look at Glenn Beck and his racist, Islamophobic screed against Mamdani in his victory in New York, as well as Megyn Kelly had on, I don't know why it's not showing, but Megyn Kelly did have on, I promise you, Charlie Kirk, and they decided to team up, and again, in Islamophobic, bigoted, racist, you name it, an attack on him. But I like to see this. I really like to see this. I like to see that that Zohran has really managed to already get underneath the skin, really irritate GOP Republicans, state and on the federal level. So he's clearly doing something right, whether it be his policies, whether it be his rhetoric, whether it just be the size of the place that he now is the mayor of. You know what I mean? So this, it's really on one hand disgusting, and on the other hand really good to see that this has really riled up the right in so many different ways. So again, we'll be taking a look at that. We'll be taking a look at, again, I don't mean to bash this story in there, but Fetterman votes in favor of blocking bill to limit Trump's war powers. So we're trying to limit Trump's war powers, and Fetterman is voting to block that bill. So again, not voting in the best interest of Democrats, doing whatever he can to get favor with Donald Trump still to this day. Again, probably as far as the last I've seen, it has missed more votes than any other senator in the Senate. So I struggle to find why calls for this man to step down are not louder, and they are, because I saw a story today that Connor Lamb, not today but the other day, that Connor Lamb is getting back on the trail in Pennsylvania. There, let me see if I can pull that up here. Let me see here. Where are we? There we go. Yeah, Democrats are trying to figure out what to do about John Fetterman. One of them is stepping up. That's Connor Lamb. Democratic Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania isn't even up for re-election until 2028, but already one one-time primary foe, former U.S. Rep Connor Lamb, is crisscrossing Pennsylvania and social media, looking and sounding like he's preparing to challenge Fetterman again. And I fully support any challenges. And I absolutely look forward to hearing and seeing what he has for a campaign coming up to get rid of John Fetterman in the Senate. Because, thank you so much. Somebody sent a Venmo. Hold on. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you for the $5 Venmo, Teresa. I really do appreciate that. And you two guys can be like Teresa and send a buck or two to the Venmo. It's up in the corner there. If you just take a picture with your phone, it'll send you right to it. Every dollar helps. Every buck helps. It really does go a long way to help this channel. Not only that, but if you don't have Venmo, there's also a PayPal. There's a WhatsApp. No, not a WhatsApp. What is it? Cash App link. So I think we're working on trying to get that as well. But many ways to support. There's also patreon.com/BostonBrian. For as little as $5 a month, you can become a Patreon member. That gets you into the Zoom meetings that we have each month. Those are really fun. Bring your pets, bring your daughters, bring your sons, your cats, whatever, your birds, whatever the hell it is, and we just kind of shoot the shit for a little bit and talk and get a little bit more acquainted. It's a little bit easier to put a face to a screen name when that happens. You know what I mean? It brings a little bit more life to the screen name that I see going by in the chat. So I really do appreciate everybody that will sign up, has signed up, and has been signed up since the start. So you guys really do quite literally keep this channel running. So thanks again. But yeah, there's a lot that we have to cover today. So let's get right into the first story that I wanted to talk about, which is the Russian strike on Ukraine overnight. This plays right into what I was talking about with Steve Kettman on the last show, as far as Donald Trump trying to make it seem like there is peace. Donald Trump trying to make it seem like Vladimir Putin wants peace. Donald Trump basically putting this situation on the back burner to focus on Israel, Iran, and his strikes on the nuclear facilities inside Iran. And while he has been silent and quiet on this issue on the most part, this is what's happening in the background. Vladimir Putin has been consistently ramping up his attacks on Ukraine. I believe I said on the last show that I believe it's almost double the number of drone strikes since if you compare that to before Donald Trump took office. So not only did he not end the war in 24 hours, not only did he not bring this conflict to an end and get Russia out of Ukraine and get Ukraine back its sovereignty, the complete opposite has happened. Vladimir Putin has felt emboldened, empowered. He's increased attacks, all while the news coverage of this conflict has faded into the background. And I want to be here, and Steve Kettman wants to be here, and people like Harry Dunn and Ken Casey, and the people of the humanitarian aid convoy that we were on want to keep this in the front lines as much as any other news story out there. And I rightly believe that stories like this, even though the news is covering these, dramatic, substantial strikes, every single one of these strikes, regardless of how substantial or how many people are killed, should be highlighted so that the people can continue to hear just exactly how much is being perpetrated against the people of Ukraine and the military of Ukraine continuously, still to this day. So let's get into a little bit of this article. Russia launched its biggest aerial attack against Ukraine overnight, a Ukrainian official said Sunday, as part of an escalating bombing campaign that has further dashed hopes for a breakthrough in efforts to end the three-year-old war. Russia fired a total of 537 aerial weapons at Ukraine, including 477 drones and decoys and 60 missiles, Ukraine's Air Force said. Of these, 249 were shot down and 226 were lost, likely having been electronically jammed. The onslaught was, quote, the most massive airstrike, end quote, on the country since the beginning of the Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022, taking into account both drones and various types of missiles. Yuri Inhat, head of communications at Ukrainian's Air Force, told the Associated Press the attack targeted several regions, including western Ukraine, far from the front line. Poland and allied countries scrambled aircraft to ensure the safety of Polish airspace, the country's Air Force said. 3 people were killed in each of the drone strikes in the Kherson, Kharkiv, and Dnipropetrovsk regions, according to the 3 governors. Another person was killed by an airstrike in the Kostantinivka. That's not an easy one to say. Local officials said, in addition to aerial attacks, a man died when Russian troops shelled the city of Kherson. And the body of a 7-year-old woman was found under the rubble of a 9-story building hit by Russian shelling in the Zaporizhia region. In the far western Lviv region, a large fire broke out in an industrial facility in the city of Drohebych, following a drone attack that also cut electricity to parts of the city. Ukraine's Air Force said one of its F-16 warplanes supplied by its Western partners crashed after sustaining damage while shooting down air targets. The pilot, unfortunately, died. Russian troops reportedly advanced in Donetsk, so that's part of a little bit of an ongoing story, that one. But, just a little bit to show you what is still taking place, even though you may not have heard about it as much as what's going on between Israel and Iran. In the United States is, getting involved in that situation. But that does not mean that this hasn't ramped up. That doesn't mean that there aren't still Ukrainian civilians dying night in and night out. This so-called peace that Donald Trump has tried to broker, or what he says he has tried to broker, what the media wants to give him credit for trying to broker, which I don't see him doing shit as far as this is concerned, has not led to anything, but has completely gone the other way and has only led to an escalation in terms of Russian aggression against Ukraine. So this needs to be talked about. This needs to be, put on the forefront as far as news stories are concerned, right up there with the most important. Because again, this goes to show the weakness, the fecklessness, the incapability of Donald Trump to not only get a handle on a situation, but to affect a positive outcome to that situation. Right. So he's, again, not even speaking about it. Never mind speaking about a favorable outcome. Right. The last I heard was him talking about how he's finally admitting how difficult this situation is to end and to find a peaceful agreement on. Right. When I've yet to hear him say what everybody is thinking, or what most sane people are thinking he should be saying: get the Russian military out of Ukraine right now. Every single Russian soldier, drop your weapons, leave them where they lie, turn the tanks off, leave the missiles right where they are. We'll take them. Just stop walking your ass right back to fucking Russian territory. And listen, we'll go from there. How about that? That's a start. That'd be a start, right? Let the Ukrainians have back their sovereign territory. Let them have their country back. And then we can talk about where the relations lie and where to go after that. But the number one thing would be, and the number one most sensible thing that I can think of, is for the president of the United States to say, hey, Vladimir, get your fucking military out of Ukraine right now. I'll give you, I don't know, a week. You got 2 weeks to get them out. If not, then we're going to dump everything that we possibly have and can dump behind the Ukrainian military. We're going to put every dollar, every missile, every fucking bullet we possibly can in defense and for their offensive capabilities. because you are too stupid and you don't want to have any fucking talks about peace while getting your military the fuck out of a territory that isn't yours. I mean, I don't think that would be too difficult as a starting point for the United States president to come out and say, right? But yeah, make sure we're continuing to talk about that in Slava Ukraine to all the soldiers, Heroyam Slava, and you know, a moment of silence and rest in peace to all the Ukrainian civilians who have lost their lives because of Donald Trump's stupidity, fecklessness, again, corruption, you know, you name it. And people have lost their lives because of it, and because of the stupid people that Donald Trump has surrounded himself with. All right, let's take a look at this next story here. I believe this is one of the big ones from the last few days. Gavin Newsom suing Fox News over an alleged Trump phone call that supposedly never took place, all while Jesse Waters claiming Gavin Newsom lied about said phone call on air. Now, this story should provoke and should be reminiscent of the Dominion Voting Systems lawsuit against Fox News for their lies, propaganda, mis and disinformation about the 2020 election. They were ordered to pay out $787 million, I believe the number was, for that. And, you know, Gavin Newsom is taking a page directly out of Donald Trump's and Dominion's playbook as far as that number is concerned. So let's see if we can get into here. Let's see here. Yeah. So this is just kind of gives a timeline. Fox News spokesperson tells TMZ Governor Newsom's transparent. Oh, this is their response. This is Fox News's response to Governor Newsom's lawsuit. So Governor Newsom's transparent publicity stunt is frivolous and designed to chill free speech. Critical of him, we will defend this case vigorously and look forward to it being dismissed. So this is over a claim that Jesse Waters intentionally lied to make the California governor look like a liar in his battle with Donald Trump over activating the military in Los Angeles to quell immigration protests. Let's see here. This kind of gives the rundown. So this is what Jesse Waters said on his show. Does this play as a video, or do I have to? For some reason, I feel like this plays as a video, but doesn't seem to be. Let me see if I can refresh. Refresh. There we go. I figured. All right. Play. Does it not want to play for me? It can. It can and it shall. Maybe not. All right. Here we go. This is Jesse Waters' lie about, or what Gavin Newsom, let's just, you know, say is claiming is a lie about himself in a phone call with Donald Trump regarding the activation of the military in LA. Let's see if this plays for me right here. Oh,
in this family.
I don't want to watch an ad. I really don't want to watch an ad. All right, let me time it out. I'll talk through it. And then hopefully there. So this is, was this June? Gavin Newsom Scorched Earth? Yeah, on June 7th. Is when Governor Newsom spoke with Trump just after midnight on June 7th. Governor told Trump he did not want to activate. All right, so here we go. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger for you.
Gavin's giving folks room to riot, just like tampon. Same thing happened in the summer of love. Democrat governors let violence fester until finally Trump restored order. Trump's not waiting around this time. He says if it wasn't for him, LA would be up in smoke.
Called him up to tell him, got to do a better job. He's doing a bad job, causing a lot of death and a lot of potential death. If we didn't send out the National Guard, and last time we gave him a little additional help, you would have, Los Angeles would be burning right now. The radical left, it's usually radical left.
It's pretty funny coming from a guy that once said this. Do you guys remember, especially the people of California? I want you to specifically see if you can remember when he said this. Let me see if I still have this drop here. Remember he said he was going to let you guys burn if Gavin Newsom didn't? Let me see. I think I still have that. Yeah, here we go. Let me see if this plays for you guys.
Gavin Newsom is going to sign those papers. And if he doesn't sign those papers, we won't give him money to put out all his fires. And if we don't give him the money to put out his fires, he's got problems. He's a lousy governor.
So that's Donald Trump threatening Californians specifically with withholding federal assistance for fighting wildfires because of something Gavin Newsom said, wants to enact, won't enact. And if he doesn't follow in line, he's going to withhold federal funds from California that goes to help fighting wildfires. So in essence, he's saying, I will let you guys burn if Gavin Newsom does not lick my boot, right? If he does not fucking, when I bend over, kiss my ass directly and squarely on both cheeks, I will let all of you burn. And I don't think we all need to be reminded of how, dangerous and impactful wildfires can be in this area, right? I don't think we need to revisit that whole thing. So now for him to come out and say that, he is responsible for saving lives in some phantom phone call when Gavin Newsom expressly, as far as his words are concerned, said he told him he did not want assistance. And then when Fox News goes on to lie and Donald Trump goes on to lie about said phone call, now this is where we get the premise for Gavin Newsom's lawsuit against Fox News for, again, $787 million. So let me just say, let this play out, and then we'll go on to Gavin Newsom, I believe, either announcing the lawsuit or just giving a press update about the lawsuit here.
And it's usually governors that are Democrat, and they don't want to call them in. They don't want to save lives. They don't want to save property. They don't want to call them in. I don't know what it is.
Newsom responded, and he said there wasn't a phone call. He said Trump never called him, not even a voicemail, he said. But John Roberts got Trump's call logs, and it shows Trump called him late Friday.
Yeah, because we all look at how legitimate this looks, guys. This is impossible to be doctored, right? This image right here, there's just no possible way that anybody could doctor an image that may or may not say different times of phone calls and appear to represent themselves as a call log, right? That couldn't be done. There's no way. I don't see anybody in the Trump, excuse me. I don't see anybody in the Trump campaign, organization, Trump family going that low as to maybe go to, seem to doctor an image to further what Donald Trump is saying and to benefit or to try to corroborate his lies, right? Yeah, we couldn't possibly see that, Chad, could we?
And they talked for 16 minutes. Why would Newsom lie and claim Trump never called him? Why would he do
obviously, it's a lie right off the bat, because who the fuck wants to talk to Donald Trump for 16 minutes? I mean, I'd more likely believe it's the 122 outgoing call at 4 seconds. Yeah, who's this? It's Donald Trump. Okay, click. All right. That seems like more of what along the lines of what reality may be.
that? Gavin could have called up the guard Friday night and could have stopped the violence and saved millions of dollars in damages. But we're now on our 5th day of mayhem, and Newsom suing Trump to send the
look at the mayhem, guys. Look at the mayhem.
Guard home.
The first picture was the officers causing the mayhem. Let me see here. Yeah, here you go. Here's the officers causing the mayhem. As far as I can see, what Fox News is now showing me, and now we see what 13 people coming out of some store
to send the guard home.
All right, so that was the the basis, the original basis for what the hell is this? How do I get out of that? No, I don't want to borrow anything. Can I go back? Can I just go back to the story? Help! Well, there you go. All right, I guess we'll have to bring it up again. We'll have to bring it up again. All right, and now this is 3 days later, June 10th. Trump told reporters he had spoken with Newsom a day ago on June 9th. That's in connection with activating the Marines. Newsom posted on X that Trump was lying, that he never spoke with the president on June 9th. Trump then gave Fox News screenshots of his call log showing that there was a call June 7th. Obviously, that doesn't support Trump's claim that he spoke with Newsom on the 9th. Oh, I didn't even fucking catch that. That's hilarious. So they actually went as far as to maybe not doctor the call logs, but to bring up a separate day's call logs and then try to represent that or misrepresent that as a call on June 9th, thinking that nobody would catch that. So that's pretty funny. But this is Governor Newsom's response to the lies from Fox News, and I believe him announcing this lawsuit. Let's see if we can get into a little bit of this. Why it doesn't just come up? Help. Let me see if I can refresh again. Where are you? There you go. Make it fucking ads again. All right, so let's see here. But in Newsom's defamation lawsuit, he says that Fox News made deceptive video edits to make it appear Trump was correct, which he was not. That edit in question in this speaking in the Oval Office, Trump's spoken with Newsom a day ago, which was June 9th, but Trump's soundbite, as it ran on Fox News, did not mention a day ago. Well, isn't that funny? Fox News selectively editing a clip, to make it fit the the narrative that they want. Isn't that what they're backing Donald Trump's lawsuit of CBS, of 60 Minutes with the Kamala interview? Isn't that the same premise for their lawsuit? Is the fact that they supposedly doctored and selectively edited her answer to make it a completely different answer, which it was not. Which every single interview, which every single news article clips, whether it be with a politician or otherwise, pretty much has to do. You cannot run every single full answer unless, again, you're doing like a full podcast type of interview, like a Rogan or a Blunt Politics type of interview, right? If you have a certain time frame that you have to get this interview in by, and it's an hour-long interview, but the show that you have is only a half hour long, something's going to have to be cut. Something's going to have to be clipped and edited, right? And that's like standard practice. But the hypocrisy of Fox News, and again, we saw them do this with Donald Trump when he was asked about whether he would declassify the JFK files, whether he would declassify the Epstein files, right? And he paused at the Epstein files. Right off the bat, he said yes for the other two, but then when he was asked about the Epstein files, he kind of paused and said, he did say yes, but then after that, he went on to say, well, maybe not so much because people get wrapped up in that. There's a lot of phony business, that type of answer. I'm paraphrasing, but Fox News cut that entire part out of his answer when it aired. So why couldn't we, as citizens of this country, all get in file a lawsuit against Fox News for selectively editing Donald Trump's answers as far as it pertains to the declassifying the Epstein files, right? All right, so this is the TMZ coverage of Newsom announcing his lawsuits. Let's get into this.
Is really upset about a report about his conversation, his phone call with President Trump earlier this month.
Upset to the tune of 200 and some odd million.
No, 787 million. Get it right. Let me just see if they have Newsom's statements, because I don't much care about their assessment of this situation, to tell you the truth. Do they ever just play his response? Wouldn't that be prudent? No, they don't? All right. Well, I don't see any point in showing that. Let me see. I thought for some reason they showed his... All right. Well, let me see if I can find it now. Newsom... What? Lawsuit statements? What do I do? Announces... Lawsuit. Maybe that'll bring it up. Video. Governor Newsom, 22 hours ago, 1 day ago. That is Reuters. Let me see if maybe this is it. Oh, I'm going to have to watch. Oh, no.
Taking aim at Fox News. The Democratic lawmaker is suing the channel for defamation to the tune of $787 million. The suit was filed earlier today in Delaware, where Fox News is incorporated. Newsom took to X to make that announcement, posting in part, "No more lies." NBC News correspondent Camila Bernal joins us now. So, Camila, what can you tell us about this lawsuit, and what have we heard from Fox News?
Hey, Sinclair. So first, Governor Gavin Newsom claiming that Fox News host Jesse Waters lied when he...
Yeah, we got that much. Does anybody just play his friggin' statements? Wouldn't that just be easy to do? 22 hours ago. Let's see here. Is this it? Governor Newsom announces first and he's going to break and Governor files lawsuit. I just thought there was like a quick clip. Let's see. Let's see what this one is. Loading ad. All right, well, load it. Load it already. Patronus. Let's see. Does this show it? His statements? Governor Newsom filed. Yes, we got that much. Settled to Rogan to 2020. This report is produced by Jillian Kitchener. Let's see here. Here we go.
California Governor Gavin Newsom has filed a $787 million defamation lawsuit against Fox News. In a Friday announcement, he said the network defamed him by lying about his phone call with Donald Trump related to the president's immigration crackdown. And Newsom said Fox acted with actual malice.
Fox chose in multiple instances to amend, omit, and edit facts that were in evidence in order to shape a narrative that was malicious, which was defamatory.
According to the complaint, Newsom...
Well, apparently, it's the one where he's got the flag behind him. No, that's the same clip. That's the same clip. That's the same clip. All right, well, I thought for sure that first one had it. Let me see if I go back. And then, oh yeah, this is Waters ran a clip that showed why would Newsom lie and claim Trump never called him? Talking about the Chiron. Oh, I love that when he poked him in the chest there. But anyways, you guys get the picture. I honestly appreciate the fact that Gavin Newsom is taking the fight to Fox News. I appreciate the fact that, you know, this is kind of a little bit of a taste of their own medicine, you know, fighting fire with fire. If they can do this shit, then guess what? You're opening the door for other people to do the same shit. The same way that Donald Trump is now using the Supreme Court to try to broaden and widen and enhance his powers. That same laws or those same powers, those same enhancements will then go and be there for the next Democratic president, right? Which is coming. So all the things that he thinks he's getting away with and is going to benefit from, he's basically just opening the door for the next Democratic president to get in there and use these powers that the Supreme Court is now given the office of the presidency to their advantage, right? All right, so let's see if we can get into this next story here, which is the Trump's moldy, shit-filled bill passing the first procedural hurdle, and it was cleared through the Senate. They're saying they voted after a scramble in the Senate. Republicans voted on Saturday to advance Trump's signature, big, shitty, moldy bill with a 51-49 vote. Republicans had been divided over the controversial bill, with some rejecting the proposal to cut welfare programs in order to cover tax breaks, and others demanding deeper cuts. Again, this is the moldy bill that is stealing from the poorest people, taking away from the neediest, taking away health care coverage, taking away SNAP benefits, taking away other vital areas that people rely upon for everyday sustenance and their livelihoods, so that they can use the money saved in order to give the most the richest people in this country their tax breaks, right? So as Mel said to me, in what fucking universe, in what reality, on what planet, in what country, it doesn't matter who's running it or why, is it ever a thing, or would it ever even be considered to take the resources away from the poorest and most needy in your fucking society in order to give tax breaks and benefits to the richest 1% of your society? Not the people that do the work, the people that benefit from the work. Like, that doesn't make sense in any land, on any planet. It doesn't matter what regime is in charge. It doesn't matter what you're trying to accomplish. That does not fucking make sense unless you're just trying to extort. Unless you're just trying to, have your corruption run rampant unless you're just trying to steal literally the food off the fucking plates of the people that you are either leading or have a company in that country. It's just theft at that fucking point. The key procedural hurdle was cleared hours after the debate opened, with 2 Republican senators, Tom Tillis of North Carolina and Rand Paul of Kentucky, voting with Democrats to block consideration of the measure. Meanwhile, the tech billionaire Elon Musk again voiced criticism of the bill, describing it as utterly insane and destructive. Let's see if I can. We'll take a look at what he wrote here. So this is Elon Musk's statement, once again going after Trump in the bill. The latest Senate draft bill will destroy millions of jobs in America and cause immense strategic harm to our country. Utterly insane and destructive. It gives handouts to industries of the past while severely damaging industries of the future. He did that. He said that while reposting somebody else, Jesse Jenkins. I'm not really sure who that is. But yeah, once again, Elon Musk and Donald Trump going head to head as far as policy is concerned. Basically just furthering the fact that Democrats said it wouldn't last and that this exact thing would happen and that it wouldn't be long before these two were on the outs and going directly head to head with one another. So I figured it was prudent to show you that. Let's see here. Senate Republicans advance. The Republican-controlled U.S. Senate. Is this the full story? Senate Republicans clearing the important procedural hurdle. Senate voted 51-49, like we said. Let's see here. The measure, Trump's top legislative goal, passed its first hurdle, 51-49. Again, there was still work to do for the bill to actually gain passage in the Senate, which might not happen until about Monday. Democrats forced Senate clerks to read the entire 940-page bill, and then an unlimited number of amendments could be brought up for consideration in a marathon session, colloquially known as a vote-a-rama. Saturday's results came after several hours of negotiation as Republican leaders and Vice President J.D. Vance sought to persuade last-minute holdouts in a series of closed-doors negotiations. The procedural vote, which would start debate on the mega bill to fund Trump's top immigration, border, tax cut, and military priorities, began after hours of delay. It then remained open for more than 3 hours of standstill as 3 Republican senators, Tom Tillis, Ron Johnson, and Rand Paul, joined Democrats to oppose the legislation. 3 others, Senator Rick Scott, Mike Lee, and Cynthia Loomis, negotiated with Republican leaders into the night in hopes of securing bigger spending cuts. In the end, Wisconsin Senator Johnson flipped no vote to yes, leaving only Paul and Tillis opposed among Republicans. Trump on social media hailed the great victory for his great, big, shitty, moldy bill. The mega bill would extend the 2017 tax cuts that were Trump's main legislative achievements during his first term as president, cut other taxes, and boost spending on the military and border security. But the controversial bill has caused division, with Elon Musk, the billionaire Trump donor, again coming out in strong opposition to the House version of the bill, denouncing the Senate draft on his social media platform, as I just read to you. Non-bipartisan analysts estimate the version of Trump's tax cut and spending bill would add trillions to the $36.2 trillion U.S. debt. Democrats fiercely opposed the bill, saying its tax cuts elements would disproportionately benefit the wealthy at the expense of social programs that lower income Americans rely upon. Schumer, the top Senate Democrat, demanded that the bill be read aloud before debate could begin, saying that Republicans were scrambling to pass a, quote, radical bill. Very strong words from Schumer. Strong words. Quote, radical bill, guys. Radical bill, he called it. Woo! Man, he must have been sweating after that one. After passing the Senate, the bill would need to be returned to the House before it gets to Trump for signature, something he wants done by the July 4th holiday. Trump is pushing Congress to wrap it up, even as he has sometimes given mixed signals, allowing for more time. The legislation is an ambitious but complicated series of GOP priorities. At its core, it would make permanent many of the tax breaks from Trump's first term, the ones that we talked about that were not permanent for you and me, but were permanent for the richest in this country, right? The highest earning. It would make permanent many of the tax breaks from Trump's first term that would otherwise expire by year's end and Congress fails to act, resulting in a potential tax increase on Americans. This bill would add new breaks, and I don't think that's quite explained correctly as far as a potential tax increase on Americans. It just would not take it just would not take from the social services and programs that we have to support the poorest people in this country and rip that from that and take it and then make sure that we have that to support tax breaks for the wealthiest people in this country, right? Let's see here. The bill would add new breaks, including no taxes on tips, again, very vague, and commit $350 billion to national security, including for Trump's mass deportation agenda. I think we just heard him the other day talk about how he wants to hire several thousand more border patrol agents and up to 10,000 more ICE agents. Hashtag abolish ICE, hashtag fuck ICE, hashtag film and follow ICE. Anytime you see them, get in their way, impede, impose, make difficult their duties by every stretch and every use of the law that you possibly can. We'll take a look at in a little bit. I posted on Blue Sky about how Donald Trump's praising ICE as warriors going into the den of vipers and wolves. And then you cut to what they're actually doing, going in and ripping, fucking workers out of Home Depot and Lowe's parking lots that are sitting there looking for a job for the day, or chasing immigrants through fields in California, the people that pick our food and get our food and grow our food and put it on our tables to make sure that we have fucking something to eat, right? Or arrested pregnant American citizens. Or vendors, a young woman as a vendor on the side of the road. These do not look like gangsters. I have not seen this huge fucking roundup of gangsters and thugs and murderers by ICE and Tom Homan. I haven't seen that. I have seen them go into schools. I have seen them go into homes and places of work. I have seen them rip people out of fucking Home Depot parking lots. I have seen them arrest U.S. citizens and deport them to El Salvador to sit and rot in a fucking concentration camp. I have seen them, harass and arrest and fucking almost physically abuse pregnant women. I have seen that. But this huge roundup of gangsters, this huge roundup of thugs and MS-13 and gangsters that are supposed to be here as some fucking invasion force, part of some fucking military invasion force, that I haven't seen. I have seen many communities since I've been here in California torn up and fucking ripped apart by ICE. A lot of them showing up at malls and shopping centers. These are not fucking places that MS-13 has a fucking stranglehold on. These are not places that gangsters go to meet and to commit fucking crimes and to do business. These are just normal everyday citizens either looking for a job or going about their daily lives. And that's who fucking ICE is ripping out of this country and putting in detention centers. So when you hear this fucking, we're going after gangsters and criminals, it turns out 93% of the people they're fucking rounding up either have no criminal record or have no criminal record in a certain number of years, or whatever they've been convicted for is fucking a minuscule on the fucking scale. It's ridiculous. It's fucking out of control what's going on. And he's talking about, again, adding more 10,000 more ICE agents, right? But no, everybody was up in arms when we wanted to add more IRS agents that would go after rich people in this country for cheating on their taxes and fucking the loopholes that they're using, right? We didn't want any of that. Nobody wanted any of the IRS agents that we wanted to hire to make sure that we could that would actually bring in more revenue than it actually cost to produce those fucking jobs and pay those jobs, right? With the money that they would have brought in from the fucking scams they would have uncovered, from all the, the audits that they would have performed. But no, everybody was up in arms about that. But 10,000 more ICE agents and several thousand more Border Patrol agents to go and harass and fucking, detain American citizens and basically arrest and fucking harass everybody but actual fucking criminals, it seems like. Sorry, but some law is going back to the bill. Sorry, I got off on a little bit of tangent. Some lawmakers say the cuts go too far, particularly people receiving health care through Medicaid. Meanwhile, conservatives worried about the national debts are pushing for steeper cuts. The final text includes a proposal for cuts to Medicaid provider tax that had a run into parliamentary objections in opposition from several senators worried about the fate of rural hospitals, as they should be. The new version extends the start date for those cuts and establishes a $25 billion fund to aid rural hospitals and providers. Most states impose the provider tax as a way to boost federal Medicaid reimbursement. Some Republicans argue that is a scam and should be abolished. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office has said that under House-passed version of the bill, some 10.9 million more people would go without health care, and at least 3 million fewer would qualify for food aid. Can I just one more time on that one? Can I just, is it okay if I read that one again? Okay. Has said that under the House-passed version of the bill, 10.9, so 11 million people would go without health care, and at least 3 million fewer would qualify for food aid. So we're now literally in this country trying and on the verge of passing a bill that in effect rips 11 million people from their fucking health care and puts 3 million plus people in a level of food poverty that they were at seemingly at this point able to sustain only with their food aid. So we're doing things that are like taking millions and millions and millions of people away from their healthcare and healthcare away from the people, and taking millions away, taking food aid away from millions, 3+ million. And that's what we're trying to, that's like, somehow that's what the government of this fucking country put in a bill and thinks that's what their job is to strip people of healthcare, is to strip people of a way to put fucking food on the table. The CBO has not publicly assessed the Senate draft, which proposes steeper reductions, which could be even worse. Top income earners would see about a $12,000 tax cut under the House bill, while the package would cost the poorest Americans $1,600. So the top earners would see a $12,000 tax cut, but the poorest Americans, it would cost them $1,600. I mean, again, just not only not doing enough, but literally taking us backwards. Literally going backwards. It's not like, okay, yes, they're doing this, but it's not enough. I wish they would go further, right? Like, I wish we could get more federal funding to this area, more federal funding to this area. No. They're literally going backwards as far as stripping healthcare from people, stripping food aid from people. People will die. Americans will die as a result of this bill, if it passes. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Whether it be from starvation, whether it be from malnutrition, whether it be from lack of fucking, medical attention, because you can't pay for it. You can't inquire those costs. You know what I mean? You can't take those costs on. So you're just going to sit there and hope you get better. Well, you're not going to. And a lot of Americans are not going to get better. They're going to die in their fucking homes, probably lonely and starving, because Republicans see it fit to put it in their massive bill that they always rail against. Massive bills, hate big bills, 1,000-page bills. We can't read all this shit. Now, all of a sudden, they want to fucking wrap it up all in together so they can fucking do exactly this, so they can make it as complicated as possible, so that there's too many areas of it to talk about, so that you can't focus on one part of it. But ultimately, when you break it down to fucking brass tacks, what happens is millions see less healthcare, millions see less fucking food aid. The richest get a fucking $12,000 tax cut, while the poorest Americans have to pay an extra $1,600. And obviously, there's much more involved in this. But I mean, when we're trying to, again, put it into terms that people can maybe that are just listening in passing, or people that are not so heavily involved in politics can understand, right? This is what this 1,000 huge, beautiful, moldy, shitty bill that everybody that you're hearing about in the news, in the newspapers, on the fucking TV. If you're listening now, for the first time. Thank you. First off, thank you. Make sure you hit the like button. Second of all, if this is something you're hearing about in passing but don't really understand, this is what they want to do. They're stripping healthcare, stripping food aid, raising costs for the poorest Americans while giving the richest Americans tax breaks. And if that's a way where you can get that through to your family, if that's a talking point and, you know, a little short soundbite or clip that you can use while talking to friends and family to get it through their skulls, what's actually being voted on, what's actually being put in this bill, then use that at your discretion. Use that at your disposal. However you can get through to people. But we'll be keeping an eye out on that. Again, it looks like as far as that article is concerned, they're thinking maybe by tomorrow, but Trump says by July 4th, he's hoping to get that finalized. So we'll see how that goes as far as going back to the House and then being signed by Donald Trump. But let's get into the next story that I just wanted to touch upon. And again, just drives home the fact that this whole Donald Trump as a strong man, Donald Trump has control over situations. What Donald Trump says goes. Bullshit is just that. It is fantasy. It is fiction. It is a figment of a Republican's imagination. It is a figment of the rhetoric created by people like Stephen Miller, Stephen Chung, the rest of the cohorts that surround Donald Trump and write his speeches. Roy Cohn himself. So to just come out there and claim something over and over and over again, and then use that as if it's true because you've said it over and over and over and over again. And then people will, after a while, because it's not being combated, it's not being defended against every time you say it, it sneaks through a lot of the time. And then people hear that without it being, again, pushed back upon. And they start to believe that is true themselves. So when Donald Trump comes out and says we have peace on earth, and sorry, I got an itchy. Sorry. And he comes out and talks about peace on earth and how he's a strong man and he's taking control of all these situations. Okay, so that either leaves two things for us to believe. There's only two options then. He's either A-okay with and gave the green light to Bibi Netanyahu for him to do and conduct operations just like this, or he's too incompetent, he's too stupid and too ignorant and too weak and feckless to either know about it or to be able to control Benjamin Netanyahu if he does know about it. So this is, again, a story in Haaretz, Israeli newspaper, titled, "It's a Killing Field. IDF soldiers ordered to shoot deliberately at unarmed Gazans waiting for humanitarian aid." IDF soldiers and officers told Haaretz they were ordered to fire at unarmed crowds near food distribution sites in Gaza, even when no threat was present. Hundreds of Palestinians have been killed, prompting the military prosecution to call for a review into possible war crimes. Let's see. Do I have to subscribe to this or can I read it? I don't think I took that into account. Do I get like a free read? Only $1 for the first month coverage. No, I don't want to subscribe now. No, I just want to read your article. Israeli soldiers in Gaza told Haaretz that the army has deliberately fired at Palestinians near air distribution sites over the past month. Shiza. I didn't take that into account. But again, there's got to be somewhere else I can. I know I'm not logged in. I'd have to subscribe for $1 and then maybe. One second. I got to figure it out. I got to try to figure out a plan. Annual plan, only $120 for the rest of the year? Get fucked. What are you, out of your tree? What are you, out of your tree? Well, my apologies on that one. I didn't realize that you had to be subscribed. Again, this leads me to another thing that is really fucking irking me. As far as political coverage and magazines and newspapers and outlets making you pay for what should be worldwide news, fucking just free headlines to keep the masses informed, which is the job and the responsibility of the media. right? Not to, I understand you have to make money in order to keep the lights on, in order to keep your anchors paid. But maybe you need less lights. Maybe you need less anchors, right? Maybe we don't need 24/7 outrage coverage. It's just, it's it's crazy to me that now CNN wants you to have to pay in order to read some of the articles on their website. What happened to the free press? What happened to, again, keeping the public informed, making sure that we have an educated, informed public to make accurate and informed decisions when it comes time to do so? And again, I know this is an Israeli outlet, but it goes to the broader picture of, if you want to know information in this world, you have to have money. And if you don't have money, you're not going to know that information. And if you don't know that information, you can't take that into account when going about your daily life or making decisions on things or forming opinions on things. So again, everything is just based and directed directly at people that have the funds, that have money. And it's a shame. It really is a shame because, the benefit again, just the benefits of being informed and knowing things like this are happening, right? Wouldn't this hugely sway and affect your opinions and decisions when talking about Israel or Benjamin Netanyahu or the IDF and what they're doing? All the past articles that I've brought up that Haaretz has done about the brutality and the fucking barbarity of the IDF and their actions, right? Wouldn't this be extremely beneficial to all people to be able to read and know what's going on? But no, if you don't have $120 a year, if you don't have fucking $10 a month or $6 a month, then you can't fucking read it. Then you don't know, and you cannot be informed, and you cannot fucking then use that to form your opinions. It's brutally frustrating, and which is a huge reason why that I don't have anything behind a paywall, right? You do not need to pay. You do not need to have money in any way, shape, or form to see any of my content, right? There is nothing that I will report on or talk about that you will have to come out of pocket to see. I am hugely appreciative of the people that are in the financial situation to come out of pocket for a donation of 5, 10, 20, people that are even more, generous. I hugely appreciate the people that are in that position, but I also hugely appreciate the fact that not everybody is in that fucking position, myself included. And to make you say, to make the people that have been here watching this show since day one say, okay, nope, now I have this news report, or now I have this new show or new fucking series or whatever, but it's going to cost you $5 to watch it. And if, you've been here the whole time watching, but if you don't have the $5, oops, sorry, you're not going to get to see my content. Well, or $5, whatever the fucking price may be. You know what I'm saying? If you don't subscribe to this, if you don't log on to this, sign up to my Substack, sign up to the fuck, you know what I mean? I understand doing that as far as being just open and honest about it being just a donation, about it being you people wanting to help produce this content in this show. But it is not to get you special access. It is not to get you behind the scenes on anything, to see some special thing that I've been working on that only you, because you have $10, gets to see. Right? So thank you so much to people like Nordez and Tom and Victoria and Sheldon and there's so many people to thank that a day, show in and show out, come in with gifted memberships, their own membership milestones, super stickers, super chats. And it is I try to show as much appreciation as I possibly can for you guys, because you absolutely keep the food in my mouth and keep the lights on for this place, right? But again, you do that knowing that you're doing it as far as producing and helping the show, and not to get you special access to special content, right? Just fucking bugs the fuck out of me. Bugs the fuck out of me. I wish everybody would just make it fucking free, and then people that could read it and be informed and know about it, Yeah, they do. They want I mean, I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. Why would you want a dumb, uninformed public when your job is literally to inform the public? You know, makes absolutely no sense. But I would advise anybody that can do so, that maybe is already subscriber to Haaretz, to check this article out. There might even be, some people online, some people on YouTube that have done maybe a rundown of what this article talks about. That way you don't have to come out of pocket yourself with any money. But I would definitely take a look at this, because we have to stay on top of exactly what is going on over there, and has been going on over there, as well as the other situations around the world that we also need to continue to be talking about, which are several. So again, yeah, just a disgusting sight, a disgusting headline, disgusting actions to literally draw people in to humanitarian aid sites just so you could pack them into cages, and then sometimes just pick them off one by one. I believe there's other agencies also named in this article. So I would advise everybody, if you can, to check that out, or maybe Chat GPT or something can do a little rundown or a synopsis of what this article tells you, and you might not have to sign up for it. So let's move on to our next and what is going to be our first video. Actually, let's take a look at this before we get into the videos. What time we got? 11. All right, let's take a look at this one real quick. All right. And, I have been on the anti-John Fetterman train, Boeing 747. Maybe it's a Qatari 747 for a long fucking time now. There have been signs, things that he said, his rhetoric, his demeanor, that has led me to the position that I'm at now, which is John Fetterman needs to be removed from the Senate by and at all costs, whether it be due to his medical incapabilities, whether it be his inability to show up to actually do his job and vote on things, or whether it be when he does show up to vote on things, the fact that he's seemingly now more apt to vote with the Republicans and MAGA and Donald Trump than he is with his own Democratic colleagues. So this is just letting everybody know about the votes that he does cast when he does cast votes. And he voted in favor of blocking a bill. I believe it was the Kane resolution, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. That would limit Trump's war powers without the authorization from Congress, right? So let's just read this for a sec. The U.S. Senate is blocking a resolution that would limit President Trump's war powers. GOP senators voted on Friday to reject a measure that would have stopped Trump from taking military action against Iran without receiving authorization from Congress, right? So to put the power back in the hands of Congress where it belongs, right? The power to go to war with a different nation does not lie in the hands of the executive branch, does not lie in the hands of the president. It lies in the hands of Congress to give the authorization to go to war, right? So Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky was the only Republican lawmaker to support the resolution, while Democratic John Fetterman of Pennsylvania voted with Republicans against it. So even fucking Rand Paul was on the opposite side of John Fetterman. Even fucking Rand Paul, that disgusting curly-haired freak, managed to find himself on the correct side, whether it be for the wrong reasons or whatnot. But John Fetterman, nope, couldn't find himself. He's very happy and very pleased with Donald Trump's strikes against Iran. He's very happy and pleased that Donald Trump didn't go to Congress for authorization. He's very happy and pleased that Donald Trump and his administration withheld fucking intelligence from Democrats in Congress, but showed Republicans. Didn't show the Democrats until afterwards, or after the fact, right? Do I have that? Hold on, let me see. Trump withholds. I believe we talked about this on the show. I now forget what show it was, but I do believe we brought this up. So this is the first one I see, just so we can get it in there. So this is from Yahoo News. This is Trump is limiting intelligence sharing with Congress. NBC News reports that the White House has limited intelligence sharing with members of Congress after a leak of a Pentagon intelligence assessment of U.S. airstrikes on Iran this week undermined President Donald Trump's claim that he obliterated the country's nuclear capabilities. It's the latest example of how Trump seeks to suppress information inconvenient for his political goals. So it's not clear where the leak and intelligence, yada, yada, yada. There was a leak, and we're trying to get down to the bottom of it, yada, yada, yada. The White House specifically plans to post less information on CapNet, the system used to share classified material with Congress. There was also reports that they withheld intelligence directly from Democratic lawmakers in Congress when it came to the strikes in Iran, but did seemingly tell and show and inform Republican lawmakers, which is a huge fucking problem, a huge issue above and beyond the fact that this unconstitutional, without congressional approval strike on Iran was just that, unconstitutional and illegal. So let's see. Let me get rid of a few of these so I'm not slowing down the computer. That's my fault. Get rid of this. Go back to this. But this is what we're dealing with. And just to let you know, there is, again, like I said, another answer, a solution. And I understand we got some time here, unless some drastic measure or some radical action is taken against John Fetterman. But the people of Pennsylvania are speaking, I should say. They are not happy with John Fetterman's performance. They are not happy with what he's doing, saying, and fucking how he's acting in Congress. Right. And they are at least have the ability and the advantage to have Connor Lamb here, who is already stepping up his campaign efforts, already stepping up his efforts to get his name recognition out there and get back in front of voters out there so that he can finally take down John Fetterman and remove John Fetterman if, God forbid, John Fetterman is still in his Senate seat in 2028. Because I cannot see, with the way his health has been going, with the way his mental acuity has been going, with his decision-making skills, with that article that came out talking about how he scares his wife and scares the people around him, how he drives like an absolute maniac, the fucking accidents that he's been in. We talked a lot on this show about that interview he did where he talked about very much supporting Donald Trump, because if you don't support the president, you don't support your country and all that bullshit, and how we shouldn't be calling him a fascist, shouldn't be calling him authoritarian. So this has been a long time running with John Fetterman to get on my shit list, and he is firmly in and on that fucking list and in that bucket. And in no way do I believe does he have the ability to crawl his ass out of there. I really do think we need to start looking at some drastic action and what rules we can use in the Senate to remove John Fetterman from his position due to his fucking mental incapabilities, due to his health, right? Sometimes you're just not there. Sometimes you're just not able to do it anymore. And unfortunately, I don't know if that's what's going on with him or if he has just completely changed his positions on everything. But I think it may be a little bit of both. Tom Tillis is not running for re-election. Can there be a Republican with a soul? Right, Graham. Okay, there you go. That's a great point. Great point by Graham. Graham points out that typically if a Republican does step out of line, you can almost be sure that they're not running for re-election, right? Because they're not worried about the backlash. They're not worried about the political ramifications or repercussions they get from going against Donald Trump, the dear leader, and what he wants. So the only time they actually grow a set of balls, the only time they actually, get the gall to stand up for what they actually believe in is when they have no responsibilities coming forward, when they have no re-election in sight, and there's nothing to be worried about as far as your image on the campaign trail. So Graham, thank you so much. Great point. Great point. And thank you so much for the $10. Fantastic contribution. I thank you very, very much. Very, very much. But yeah, like I said, Connor Lamb stepping up in there. So if you're in Pennsylvania, if you're in the areas in which he's speaking in, I would, go check out his town hall, because I know John Fetterman's not doing any town halls. John Fetterman's not talking to the voters and listening to their frustrations. Lamb's, I'll just read this. Lamb's reemergence comes at an in-between moment, roughly halfway through Fetterman's 6-year term, and is helping define the struggle facing Democrats in swing state Pennsylvania. Democrats prominently in their national effort to push back on President Donald Trump, but also in their struggle to figure out what to do about Fetterman, who is under fire from the rank and file Democrats for being willing to cooperate with Trump and criticizing how Democrats have protested him. Frustrations with Fetterman have been on display on social media at the massive No Kings rally in Philadelphia and among the Democratic Party's faithful. Steering the committee of the progressive organization Indivisible PA last month asked Fetterman to resign. It's quite a turnabout for the hoodies and shorts wearing Fetterman, elected in 2022 with an everyman persona and an irreverent wit who was unafraid to challenge convention. For some progressive frustration with Fetterman began with his staunch support for Israel, punishing war against Hamas in Gaza, an issue that divides Democrats. Again, just think of all the shit that I said. I didn't even bring up the fact that he met with fucking Benjamin Netanyahu, right? I didn't even fucking pop that one in there. I didn't even pop in the fact that he got this fucking silver beeper to represent and to immortalize the attack that Israel carried out, right? With the beepers and the exploding beepers and how fucking gruesome and graphic that must have been. And you got John Fetterman sitting there playing with a fucking silver-plated beeper, whatever the fuck it was. I mean, man, the man is a disgrace. He's a disgrace. And whether it's from an accident, a stroke, his fucking his own change in personality, his own change in policy stances, I don't know. But the man is, the way he's acting, the way he's voting is in direct contravention to what I believe and what I believe progressives and people on the left are trying to espouse and get through in Congress. So I just wanted to, because, I love Hal, but he always talks about like how people vote. Like, it doesn't, you can talk about what they say and like the interview, what they do in interviews and stuff. But what really matters is how they vote. And I'm totally with him on that. And so I'm just telling you how he voted. That's all. All right. So let's get into our first video of the day, please. And thank you. And before we get into the first video of the day, I would just kindly ask you once again to hit that thumbs up button. Just jump out of the chat, hit the like button, takes 2 seconds, hop right back into the chat, leave an emoji in the chat, throw a comment in the chat. If you take a second to share the show on Blue Sky or Facebook or Instagram, send a couple bits or whatever you can on Twitch. We're trying to figure out what's going on Twitch. I feel like I've completed all of the requirements I need to, I don't know what they call it, become a partner on Twitch, whatever it's called. I apologize that you guys that are watching on Twitch have no way to or ability to donate or subscribe or anything like that yet. We're trying to work it out. We're trying to figure it out, but Twitch is kind of almost impossible to talk to or deal with. You're just kind of talking to a wall. You can email them all day, but if you're not, a hot shot and got millions and millions of followers and subscribers, they really don't much care to hear what you have to say. But yes, this is Glenn Beck, and we're going to be talking about the Zohran Mamdani victory in New York once more, and how it has just riled up the Republicans to an extent I didn't think it would. Right. I did not think that this would get under their skin, but I do believe I underestimated once again the power of brown skin, the vileness of bigotry and Islamophobia, and the fear that Republicans have against anybody that does not have white skin. Right. Because, like Tucker Carlson said, I think he said the opposite. Right. And I know we've heard a lot about Tucker Carlson's racism and bigotry, but I think he was spot on when he said things like this.
White people are a mortal danger to you and your loved ones.
And also things like this.
Is there anything worse than white people?
No, I think he was pretty much spot on that one. So no notes on that one. So let's get into this. This is Glenn Beck, meet the pro-intifada candidate, New York City Democrats just elected. So we'll get into just a little bit of this. And then, like I said, we also have a Charlie Kirk and Megyn Kelly video I wanted to take a look at, just a little clip of. And then if we have some time, I'd like to dive into maybe some clips that you guys sent over. I know Alyosha has been busy sending over some memes. So if we got time, I'd like to take a look at that. So let's see this. I'm going to bump up the speed just because nobody, should be forced to listen to Glenn Beck at normal speed. I'm going to do 1.2. Let's do 1. We'll do 1.2 on the Richter. Let's do the old 1.2 on the Richter scale. All right, Glenn Beck, Show us how your bigotry and racism and Islamophobia has only grown over the years. Hit me, buddy. Let's go.
Man, Z100 852. Something weird is going on.
Yeah.
The World Trade Center is on fire.
Oh my Seriously, the top of the building. We're trying to get information.
Top level of one of the.
Do we see what he's doing already here? Do we see what he's doing already here, folks? All right. I just want to make this very, very clear. What he's doing right now is automatically trying to get you to make the one-to-one connection to Zohran Mamdani and 9/11, right? So what he's doing is playing audio clips from radio stations on the morning of 9/11, right? And he wants you to then equate that to a brown man winning the mayoral election for New York City. So a brown man wins the mayoral race against a sexual predator. And right off the bat, the first thing that Republicans think of is to equate that to 9/11. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. For winning a political victory, for espousing political beliefs that he may not agree with, for just because he lost what he thought was the beneficial candidate in Andrew Cuomo. He is now, along with many other Republicans, going straight for the 9/11 Islamophobia, communism, Marxism. He's going straight for that line. Okay. So I just wanted you to be clear. What he's doing here is equating this victory by the Democrats, by progressives, by people for the defense and fight against Donald Trump. Don't worry, Yvonne. Thank you so much. You're not late. You're never late. I was never late. Jesus Christ. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, Yvonne. And like I said, it's on YouTube, so you're never late. You can watch it at your pleasure, at your leisure. I bet your garden looks fantastic. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. You just hopped into the exact moment that, again, Glenn Beck is trying to equate Mamdani's win in New York City to 9/11. So we'll continue from here. Let's go.
Continues to unfold from New York City.
A plane crashed. Just.
My sister's in that building.
Okay.
And I hope she's okay. And I got to run to New York. Oh my God! Complete pandemonium.
All right, first of all, calm down.
There's raining papers and ashes.
Wait a minute. Stop just a second. Why are we going in I've got breaking news. Breaking news yesterday. New York City just elected as their mayoral candidate for the left and the Democrats a Muslim radical who is also
first words out of his mouth. First descriptor word out of his mouth to describe Zohran Mamdani is Muslim radical. And somebody said it in the chat, and you're 100% right. Somebody said, "What else? Did you expect anything less?" Sorry if I'm paraphrasing, but whoever said that, you're 100% right. The first words out of his mouth. One more time. First words, first descriptors out of his mouth.
And the Democrats, a Muslim radical who is also
a Muslim radical. Just after the sound bites of 9/11, just after the sound bites of fallen paper and buildings on fire and the plane crash, and trying to evoke your thoughts and emotions that you had on that day, right? Just after that, okay. Just after playing those sound bites, the first descriptor words out of his mouth is Muslim radical. So that's where the right, that's where Republicans, that's where people like Glenn Beck, Charlie Kirk, Megyn Kelly, who's the girl with the fucked up face there that was giving Trump the old 1-2s. What's her name? Laura Loomer. She's pulling out these attacks as well. But again, like was said in the chat, did you guys expect anything less from these people?
So a communist. So I mean, it only took you 25 years. It only took you.
Is he a communist though? Are we sure we're understanding the definition of communism? Do we think he's going to impose communism in New York City? Or is that just a buzzword? Is that just the normal talking point, the normal fucking lazy rhetoric pulled out by Republicans anytime a Democrat wins something, anytime a Democrat that they don't like, that they fear, that believes actually has persuasive views and can persuade people into voting? When they get scared of people like that, the first thing that they got to pull out is their lazy fucking half-assed hack rhetoric about, Muslim extremists, communists, Marxist, this bullshit.
In 25 years, New York, to go completely insane. Somebody who is, well, I mean, if I might quote Michael Malice today, I am old enough to remember when New Yorkers endured 9/11 instead of voting for it.
Once again, I mean, we're not even talking about background, like backhanded slaps that may or may not reference 9/11 and the fact that Mamdani is a Muslim, right? Or has brown skin. Like, we're talking about fucking broad daylight, out in the open, straight one-to-one comparisons of this is like 9/11, right? This is not something that you have to read between the lines to get at his fucking actual point in this. This is one-to-one. New York City just committed their own 9/11 by electing a brown guy. Should be the title of this fucking video.
But you've got a communist jihadist apologist now who was
a communist jihadist apologist. Now, what the fuck does that mean? What is a communist jihadist? First off, can we just fucking try to pick that one apart? What is are there communist jihadists? Did somehow communism spread when the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan? Did I miss that somehow? Oh, thank you guys. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Jim. Right, exactly. And it sucks too, Jim, because I believe I talked about this not that long ago. Because the way it brought us together is something that, just goes to show that it is possible. But the unfortunate side effects and the unfortunate, unfortunately, what happened after was rabid Islamophobia, rabid Muslim hate, rabid hate against anybody with a brown skin or a turban or, anybody that even looked somewhat Muslim, right? That's was the unfortunate and disgusting side effects of the camaraderie, I guess. I don't know. It sucks that had such a negative impact and such negative effects. Again, I talk about it as like the funeral effect. I have a big family. They're spread out all over. So typically, historically speaking, the only times that we can get everybody together is when somebody passes, somebody dies. We all have to meet for a funeral or a wake, right? So it takes that shitty, unbelievably shitty situation to bring people together. 9/11, obviously, the plane crash being the shitty situation, did bring people together in a way we had not seen in a long time. But unfortunately, also stoked the Islamophobia, the Muslim hate, the bigoted, racist rhetoric was also a side effect that needs to be talked about. That came from that. So again, it's a tough situation. I did see that. Rob. I did see that. Kirsten Gillibrand attacked Zohran in a despicable way recently. She is shit. I think she called him. Did she also call him a jihadist, Rob? I think it was something like that. And forgive me if I have that, if I'm not getting that quote exactly right, but I believe she called him a jihadist. Kirsten Gillibrand. Zohran Mamdani. I believe that's what he said. I'll see. Let me see here. Just so I can be factual. Mamdani. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Gillibrand, here, I'll just show you the headlines, the articles. So here's what you're talking about. Gillibrand goes on Islamophobic rant about Mamdani. New York senator misspoke when she falsely claimed Zohran Mamdani condoned, I want to say, intifada. Oh, that's what it was. Gillibrand says Mamdani should denounce calls for intifada. Kirsten Gillibrand doesn't seem bothered by Palestinian deaths. U.S. Senator from New York calls on Mamdani to repudiate the phrase globalize the intifada, which I believe he didn't say. I believe it was somebody saying it to him. And then in reaction to that, he said that that could have different meanings to a lot of people around the world, which I don't see how you could have a problem with him saying that. Again, I don't believe that was his words directly. So, yeah, that's what we were talking about there, Rob. I did see that. But let's get back to disgusting Glenn here, all right?
Well, CARE put $100,000 behind his bid for New York City mayor. So you got somebody who's endorsed by CARE. That's really good. He also was somebody who said, he was for the shooting of the United Healthcare CEO. He said he was looking forward to driving down Mangione Avenue, which I don't know. It sounds like supporting killing people in the streets. Maybe it's just me. Then he also said that he was going to globalize the intifada, which
easy.
I think that's
Glenn. What have you been hanging out with Don Jr.? What's going on, dude? Why are you always sick? Don't you guys sell like these fucking miracle products and healthcare kits that's supposed to keep you fucking healthy all the time to keep these diseases away from you? Why are you guys always sick? Or is this, again, just another Don Jr. episode where you had a late night, now you got the runs?
It's going to globalize the intifada.
Did not say that, again, as we just covered.
Which I think that's, maybe that's just me. I mean, what do I know? Tim Miller.
Hey, smartest thing you've said and probably will say in this entire show is just that. What do I know? And the answer to that question is jack shit. That's what you know, Glenn. You don't know jack shit. You are out of touch. You are fucking washed up, has been hack. Fucking just this. Oh man, the downfall of Glenn Beck and the fact that he thinks he's doing so well and he thinks he's hitting the nail right on the head every time, and it's so embarrassing to watch. It really is.
Miller, who's a podcaster, asked him a few weeks ago about his pro-Palestinian slogan, globalize the intifada. And he said, well, to me, ultimately, what I hear in so many is a desperate desire for equality and equal rights and standing up for Palestinian human rights. Oh, is that what you hear, Mr. Care? Really? That's what you, that's interesting. Right. So globalize the intifada.
Again, as far as I have read up on the subject, on what he's talking about, somebody said that to Zohran, and in response, he said, well, that could mean a lot of things to a lot of people around the world, or something along those lines. So again, what they're trying to come at him for, the things that they say that he said, he did not even say. So they don't, again, have anything substantial or concrete to actually pick him apart with. So what they do is they have to make up these or run with these fake made up stories in order to try to attack or demean him in some sort of way.
Well, let me go on because I don't want to take him out of context.
Please do, because that's exactly what you're doing is taking him out of context.
He then delved into the semantics of the intifada, citing the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum's use of the word as a translation for uprising in an Arabic version of an article the museum published about the Warsaw Ghetto. Oh, so this is just a comparison about the armed rebellion against the Nazis. I don't know if that makes me feel better.
Why? Because you're the Nazi in this situation, Glenn? Wouldn't that only be a problem if you're the fucking Nazi in this situation? Wouldn't you only have a problem with Antifada, meaning an uprising against Nazis, if you were a fucking Nazi, Glenn? Isn't it typically only the Nazis that have problems with uprising against the Nazis? Because typically, as a non-Nazi myself, I have zero problems with uprising against Nazis. And I even encourage them. I even support them. I will even be there at them. But what I will not do is show some outrage or be upset in any way against anybody showing some fight, showing some fucking gall and some balls, finally, in politics against Nazis like yourself, Glenn. So let's hear Glenn one more time be upset that somebody wants to, undertake an uprising against Nazis in this fucking country.
The armed rebellion against the Nazis. I don't know if that makes me feel better. If we're globalizing that, who are the Nazis in this scenario? You,
Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, The rest of you, the rest of the cohorts, enacting illegal, unconstitutional, inhumane policies, whether it be through immigration, whether it be through foreign policy, whether it be your fucking inability to stabilize a situation as far as wars are concerned. I don't know. Maybe it be your fucking your hatred towards brown people. Maybe it be your racist and bigoted beliefs towards the people of Palestine. Your pro-Israeli beliefs, only to then have the Jews in Israel die so that you can have your fucking resurrection, your second coming of Jesus Christ that you want, right? Like fucking Mike Huckabee. The only people that don't support uprising against Nazis are Nazis. So if you find yourself on the side of the people saying, why are we fighting the Nazis? Maybe you're a Nazi. Time to look in the mirror.
I don't think it's the Palestinians. I certainly don't think it's anybody who's like, hey, global jihad. I don't think it's those guys. Who are the Nazis? Who are the Nazis in that? And it seems, if that's what you mean, then it's not just a harmless kind of slogan about human rights. It is a call for violence on the streets. Because I don't know if you know that's what happened when the Jews had their uprising.
Right. And I don't know if you know this, Glenn, but times have changed a little bit, right? And I don't think that the Jews in the Warsaw Ghetto could have used their fucking First Amendment right, could have used their God-given right to protest and express their freedom of speech inside Nazi Germany, inside the Warsaw Ghetto in Poland, right? I don't think they had those rights then, but we do have those rights as Americans here. So we can enact an uprising. We can enact and call for fucking people to take action against the government. We can call for protest in the streets because we have that right. A right that was not afforded to the Jews in the Warsaw Ghetto in Poland. I think we can all fucking safely say, right? So I think your one-to-one comparison is shit.
Against the Nazis. I'm just saying. But hey, free Palestine. Oh, that's not what that means, gang. That is not what that means. But don't worry about it. He's just going to be possibly the new mayor.
You take your fucking snotty tissue out of your hand, you fucking degenerate.
Not
Look at this, gross.
What that means. But don't worry about it.
Can you take your snot rag, right? Can you take your sniff tish out of your hand while you're speaking, right? Can you at least do lies, propaganda, and bullshit without a snotty fucking juice rag in your hand the whole time? Good God.
He's just going to be possibly the new mayor, and that's great. Oh, by the way, the Columbia faculty members signed a letter defending Hamas. They were also among the donors to his mayoral campaign. So, I don't think there's anything worth.
How much you want to bet that's not what it says?
I mean, really, And wait, his father, who used to work at Columbia, do you know, Stu, is his dad, is he still a professor at Columbia University? He said that this violent terror thing of Islam is not a part of Islam. Now, I've read the Quran and much of the Hadith, and I'm pretty sure the violence is a part of that. But no, this is something entirely new.
It's about as much a part of that as violence is a part of the Bible, right? And the violent sexual acts that are written about in the Old Testament, right? Do I have that right? Are there some parts of the Bible, Glenn? Are there some parts of the teachings of Jesus Christ that you may not want read to children or shown to children in school? Or do you think it's all really just something that they should be learning word for word? Is there any, disgusting, what we would consider disgusting sexual acts or acts of violence in the Bible, Glenn, that we could possibly think of? Or is it just these, inhumane, fucking dehumanized people around the world with their Quran and their other ways, their other religions that they follow, right? Gross, fucking gross. How there's just there's zero self-reflection in these people, right? Zero fucking self-reflection when they continuously demean and degrade brown people, people of different faiths, people of different ethnicities. But they can never look themselves in the fucking face. They can never look in the mirror and say, what do I believe? What do I follow? What does it fucking say for the things that I believe in? Are there violent acts in there? Are there violent sexual acts in there? Are there acts of incest in there? Are there murders in there? Because last time I checked, there were.
And his father, while at Columbia University, wanted everybody to know that this is something that came out of America. America is really responsible for this. And, it really started with the Reagan administration, when he started with his very religious terms, to finish the war against the evil empire. So, that's where 9/11 came from. Is what, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because who am I? I'm clearly am I an anti?
Thank you so much, Suzanne, for the $5 Venmo. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, Suzanne. And again, to sorry, moms. I don't know why I called you that. I should have just called you by I should have just called you by I didn't see that. My apologies. And again, thank you so much to Teresa. I appreciate you guys. PayPal is up in the corner at the moment. There's also a Venmo. Let me switch it back over just in case somebody has one or the other. And again, if you are in the financial position to do so, to throw a buck or two my way, please consider doing so. And if you're not, there are a multitude of free things that you could do, such as liking, sharing. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. We're on our way to 15,000 subscribers. It's a slow haul. We're trying to get there. Not an easy nut to crack. Not an easy egg to break into. This YouTube scene as far as progressive politics is concerned. But I'm going to be in your face as many days as possible, getting out as many videos as possible in the near future. So please stay tuned. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share this out to as many people as you can. Thank you to all the people that are sharing on Blue Sky, Slacks, Yakov. Thank you so much to all you guys. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much to Robin. If you're watching, always sharing on Blue Sky. It means a lot to me that you guys do that. George, thank you. Quality is better than quantity, Brian. Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you. But I thank you guys, coming back for all the new shows and all the new days. I know it's probably a lot to pop into your schedule, and I know there's probably other shows on that you could be watching, but I appreciate you sharing your valuable time and precious time with me. I hope I get that across enough. Just how much I appreciate all of you guys. So like Kathleen, Independent, Perry, Franstone, Mozart, Big Dog, The Soulcraft, Surrender Monkey, BT. I appreciate you guys. You guys make this possible. You really do. So thank you, really. All right, let's get into. So I don't know. I'm kind of bored. Let's get into the next clip. Hopefully this one's a little more entertaining because it just really pisses me off to see the blatant bigotry, racism, and hypocrisy that these people show on a daily basis. But this is Charlie Kirk and one Megyn Kelly expressing their views on the Mamdani win. So let's see if we can get into just a little bit of this.
We got to talk about the fact that New York is becoming a communist Bolshevik.
Do we notice a pattern right off the bat in the rhetoric used by Republicans? Right off the bat, first words they have to use. I'm sure we'll hear Muslim come in not too long, but communist, Marxist, radical. I mean, these are just buzzwords that have absolutely no meaning behind them that they continuously throw out there because they're lazy, they're incompetent hacks. That's basically why.
Town, it's incredible. I'm sorry, I've lived in New York State for 50 years and only recently moved to Connecticut and New York City for 17. I can't believe they've done this. How did we go from Giuliani, Bloomberg, cross over de Blasio and Adams to a socialist who now is very likely to win because anybody who
did win. And I'll explain to you, Megan, the reason why this happened. That's because the radical Republicans have pushed their politics so far to the right and have emboldened people like Donald Trump so much to get away with so many illegal, unconstitutional, inhumane acts that it has radicalized people on the left. It has radicalized the everyday average citizen, like the fucking wonderful people in this chat right now. It has radicalized them and their beliefs. It has radicalized their beliefs in what action should be taken against an authoritarian regime like Donald Trump's fucking presidency right now, which has led us to voting in New York City somebody like Zohran Mamdani, who has the powerful rhetoric, who has the stance, and who has at least what do you call it? Not the illusion. I don't want to say the illusion, but the depiction that he's going to take a strong fight against the Republicans, a strong fight against Donald Trump himself. So it is your politics. It is your dear leader. It is your fucking conservative politicians. It is your congressmen and fucking the people in the House that have radicalized the country, have radicalized normal, everyday citizens that may have been independents, that may have just been, I don't know, center-left Democrats. Now we're fucking going further and further to the left because we know that's what it's going to take to combat the conservative point of view that is now just soaked in bigotry, racism, Islamophobia, right? All of that is just one big way to describe the Republican Party right now. So what that has done is ultimately radicalized people like myself and people, again, like you beautiful people in the chat, to take action, to get involved, to watch shows like this, to take part in the No Kings rally, to take part in the Hands Off rally, and to make those rallies even bigger going forward in the future. So I appreciate, and again, thank you to anybody that got out there and will continue to get out there. Like I say, take it fucking out of your seats, get out of your sheets, and into the fucking streets, please. That's what it's going to take.
Gets the Democratic nomination, wins. Now, it's true, some people will organize against him. Some New York business leaders are very scared. Some Jews in New York are very scared that this guy who defended, globalized the Intifada recently on a podcast at the Dispatch is their next likely mayor. So they could potentially organize now in a way
they're so scared they voted for him.
They didn't before the primary to stop him. But if you had to put money on it, you'd have to put it on this guy becoming the next mayor. What does this say about New York and our country?
All right, Charlie Kirk, hit me. What do you think this says about our country? What do you think, Big Heady? Look at the size of that fucking dome piece. Wow.
Well, a lot. And I'm going to push the envelope a little bit, Megan. So you have to give me, and you can push back at any time. So I think
you're in trouble. I saw you're in trouble with Jessica Tarlov of Fox News on the internet.
Well, yeah, I'm going to say it here on air because I don't hide from my opinions. But yes, I'll and you can push back and disagree, and I'll give all the proper caveats, which of course I believe in. But yes, the socialism part is very important. I mean, he has like some of the dumbest ideas imaginable, which we're going to have city-run grocery stores. Yeah, that works really well in Cuba. Bring back bread lines, right?
Are we Cuba? Ladies and gentlemen, are we Cuba? Do we have the same way of doing things as Cuba? Do we have the same capabilities? Do we have the same, I don't know, financial capabilities as Cuba? Does anybody believe that, I don't know, any one of the fucking alcoholic Republicans right now currently buying liquor at one of the state-owned liquor stores in one of the 17 states that have state-run liquor stores? Do you think they have any problem with the way those liquor stores are being run? Huh? You think the alcoholics going to buy their booze at any one of these fucking state-run liquor stores has a problem with the way the liquor is set up or the pricing or the way that happens? Because I haven't heard any big fucking discrepancy. I haven't heard any big uprising against state-run liquor stores or any other state-run businesses, right? I mean, God forbid we actually have stores that maybe will be able to work with or help people that may be in need. People that may not have the funds at the moment, but are hungry, have kids to feed. God forbid that we have something with some compassion and empathy. They want states to have all the rights, but we don't want states to have all the rights, I guess, right? States' rights is what Republicans want. States' rights is what Republicans believe in, but not when it comes to a blue state. The blue state shouldn't have states' rights. It shouldn't be able to control, the way they eat, the food pricing or anything like that. It shouldn't be able to help people in any sort of way, right? No, and neither one of them have. I don't know if Megyn Kelly has kids, but I'm not sure if Charlie's a father either. To tell you the truth.
Donnie, 2025. And obviously he wants to tax the rich. He wants to take more money away from people. All that's super bad. He wants to defund the police.
All that is super bad. He wants to tax the rich.
wants to tax the rich. He wants to take more money away from people. All that.
He wants to take more money away from people. So again, that was basically just a redundant way of saying tax the rich and make sure these corporations pay a fair share. Because like we've seen a downtick in the amount of taxes paid by these corporations, which has directly affected what the amount of money that the United States takes in as far as being able to resurface roads, work on bridges, repair infrastructure all over the country, right? So when you're going through your local roads and you're bumping up and down, and you got to change your tires every fucking 6 months because of the potholes. Well, you can thank these corporations and the loopholes they find and the low percentage they pay for that, because that would aggressively increase the tax revenue taken in by this country, taken in by the United States, which would then be able to be used towards, I don't know, social programs, infrastructure rebuilding, that sort of stuff. He's got 2 kids, Locara. It's funny that he makes a point never to talk about them, never to talk about their needs, never to talk about how these policies would affect his kids. It's funny that he never mentions his kids. It's funny that he never brings them up. And it's funny that Charlie Kirk was the one, and I've played this video on this show before, that called for the public executions to start and having children be forced to watch those public executions at ages as early as 12 or 13 years old. I played that clip on my show. So it's funny. Does he want his kids? Does he want his 2 kids to be witnessing public executions? I'd be curious to know.
That's super bad. He wants to defund the police. He's on the record saying defund the police. He wants to send social workers instead of cops. But we need to also understand, and we have to be very delicate how we talk about this, and I'll give all the proper caveats, right? Not every Muslim is bad. A lot of Muslims are really decent and good people. My primary care doctor is actually Muslim. I've endorsed someone running for office as a Muslim.
My friend is Muslim, so I can talk about Muslims all day. He just pulled I got a black friend. That's basically what Charlie's pulling. I got a black friend. I grew up with a black guy. He let me say the N-word all the time, so it should be okay, right? I mean, you guys don't know the pass that I got. He gave me a pass. So the bigoted, Islamophobic, fucking hateful rhetoric that I'm now going to espouse should be excused because I fucking bought a sandwich from a Muslim deli owner one fucking time, I guess. And I'm just looking here at Charlie's Twitter, and he just posted a couple hours ago talking about how, let me show you this, talking about how defund Medicaid for non-citizens, refugees, and asylum seekers is back in the big, beautiful bill. Senate Republicans managed to rework the original provision to clear Senate parliamentarians' previous ruling per punch bowl. Huge. And this is obviously the parliamentarian has cleared WeWork version of Senate GOP's crackdown on Medicaid provider taxes. Per Senate budget Dems means it meets reconciliation rules. Big win for Finance Committee Republicans who need the provision to meet yada yada yada. So again, trying to take defund Medicaid for asylum seekers, non-citizens, and refugees. Now, if you were to, I don't know, maybe just ask somebody who are probably the people that are most in need in life, who are the people that are probably most deserving of some financial benefits or some healthcare benefits, are people that are refugees from a war zone, refugees from a country that is war-torn or has gang violence, or asylum seekers that are taking the legal route to become legal citizens of this country, but now are going to be denied Medicaid, going to be denied help and assistance because Republicans don't like brown people, is what it boils down to. So I've show you that. I just kind of saw that on his Twitter.
Muslim Zuhdi Jasser here in Arizona. So we all know individually good Muslims, but we also must kind of take pause and say, wait a second. The 2 financial power centers of the West are obviously London and New York. And are we really going to have 2 Muslim mayors of the major financial power centers of the West? Let's just take a pause and take a step back and what does that say and what does that mean? And people say, well, it's irrelevant that he's Muslim. Well, you said it best. He wants to globalize the intifada.
Wrong. Again, completely mischaracterizing the situation, completely misinterpreting not only what happened, but also Mamdani's actual words. in order to make that the whole talking point. His whole defense against Mamdani is based on based on misinformation and disinformation. Right. So he's saying his ability to bring up the fact that he's Muslim comes from this situation that he is misinterpreting, mischaracterizing, and misinforming and disinforming his audience about.
And by the way, that just means globalized terrorism. He is the first mayoral candidate of any significance to say that he supports sanctions of Israel. I want you to
Correct. I believe he also said that Benjamin Netanyahu should be arrested the fucking moment he steps foot on U.S. soil, which I agree with. Can I be there to put the fucking cuffs on him? I would love, just give me about 5 minutes in an elevator, just before I put the cuffs on. Give me about 5 minutes in an elevator, and then you can have Adam do it with you will. But I 100% agree that war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu, who is currently wanted by international fucking courts, and should be arrested when he steps foot on any number of fucking countries' soil, but will not be, is now, again, like I said, did I get rid of it? But like I said, the IDF is now carrying out just fucking basically sanctioned killings of unarmed people looking for humanitarian aid, right? He just unarmed Gazans looking for humanitarian aid, some food and some assistance, being ordered to be killed. And Charlie Kirk is fucking outraged. Is outraged that somebody, anybody, a Muslim would be fucking up in arms about that, outraged about that, would want to have some fucking action taken about the man perpetrating said actions, Benjamin Netanyahu. So fuck Netanyahu, locked his ass up. I'll lock his ass up and throw away the key myself. So I'm 100% with Mamdani on that one.
Understand that is America's most Jewish city, New York, and he wants to sanction Israel.
Yes, again, why are we equating Israel with Judaism, right? Again, this whole Republican talking point of as soon as you say Israel, as soon as you say the word Israel, you may be trying to criticize their fucking regime and the genocidal madman in their regime, but as soon as you say the word Israel, we have to conflate that and make that sound like you're talking about Jews in particular. Like you have an issue with Jews, not the government of Israel, not Benjamin Netanyahu in particular, and Smotrich and the rest of these fucking, like I said, genocidal freaks. Not them, but they have to equate that to Jews on the whole. That way they can lure you into some anti-Semitic debate, right? So they can lure you into somehow accusing you of being anti-Semitic. You cannot criticize Israel, because if you do so, you're automatically being anti-Semitic against Jews. So this whole fucking equating Israel and what Benjamin Netanyahu does and their government to what Jews and Judaism believe and do has to fucking stop. Because not only do we not mean the entire population of Israel when we criticize their government, but we're not specifically relating Jews in this conversation. So enough with this fucking bullshit tactic of trying to get yourself out of this by calling everybody anti-Semitic because they have a problem with fucking sanctioned killings of unarmed people, with ethnic cleansing, with genocide, and the rest of what fucking the IDF and Netanyahu and the fucking assholes over there are doing.
And you
don't have a fucking problem with that. It says a lot more about you than it does about me.
Not allowed to mention that he's also Muslim. Like, I'm sorry, like that actually matters a lot. And he should be put on.
Again, you still have not explained to me why that matters a lot, other than the fact that it relates and sounds really good to your fucking audience to bring up the fact that he's brown and Muslim and communist and Marxist and fucking radical and all these other things. There's no real way he can equate or tell me why bringing up the fact that he's Muslim has any fucking relevance in this conversation. Right? Because again, the moment that he points to in order to bring this into the conversation is 100% misinterpreted, 100% completely misrepresented to his audience.
Record and ask questions about not just his faith, but also, do you think that it's good that we're continually importing hundreds of thousands of people that don't import our values? And you look at Ilhan Omar. Is Ilhan Omar a good example of someone that has pride?
Elon? Since when did he start calling her Elon Omar? I believe it's Ilhan. Oh shit, am I over time? Oh man, fucking time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're having fun. All right, so let me pop out of this. Let me see if I can get in here. Let's show you a couple of the. Can I open this? How do I open this somewhere else? Let's just say maybe I can share this tab instead. Show you this. Alyosha was nice enough to send over a couple of his memes. So let's just get through a couple of those. Check those out, and then I'll get through the. Oh my God, so many people were so generous today. Thank you so much. I got to get to a lot of people to thank to for super chats, membership milestones, people on Venmo, people on PayPal. I got to get to those, and I'll get you guys out of here. But this is from Alyosha. I knew Joe Biden was old when I voted for him. You knew Donald Trump was. Oh, geez, this ain't the same. Neither are we. Spot on on that one. Let me see. I'm gonna have to go back to here, and then pull up the next one. This is about Tom Tillis, I believe. Let me see this one here, Alyosha. This is Senator Tom Tillis announces he will not seek re-election following criticism from Trump. Oh yeah, this was earlier, right? So that ties into what the chat was saying earlier about how Republicans only have balls. Republicans only seem to step up when they don't seem to want to seek re-election, and it has no repercussions for their political career. That's the only time they feel like standing up is then. So let me see here. I'll go back to this. I think there's one more in here as well. This is Tom Tillis's full statement, I believe he sent over about his not running for re-election, posted by Lee Ann Caldwell. So thank you so much, Alyosha. I appreciate that as much as I do anything else. I appreciate you guys sending me all the content. Yvonne sent me a lot. Trump gets a rude awakening. All hell breaks loose in Congress as the bill blows up. Trump-Elon civil war reignites. We covered that a little bit. Just the most shocking things about the UK. So Yvonne, thank you so much. I'm sorry I don't get to all of the things that you send and get to put them on the show, but I absolutely do watch them, and they absolutely do help in keeping me informed. So I want to say thank you guys. And thank you. Tiff also sent me, let me see if I can get to this one as well. Let me see if I just play this real quick for you guys.
This, right? Our government zip tying and arresting senior citizens for the crime of being afraid the budget bill Republicans are about to pass will cut their health care and make them uninsurable and essentially act as a death sentence for 8 million seniors who are on Medicaid. Did you know that Medicaid pays for most nursing homes? It pays for wheelchairs and oxygen concentrators to help disabled Americans with home care. And of course, it allows people to afford medication from our extraordinarily for-profit pharmaceutical industry. These brave people came all the way to the halls of Congress to literally beg their representatives not to hurt them. And look how they were treated. They say you can tell a lot about a culture by how they treat their elders. What do you think this says about us?
Oh, man. I mean, again, just what is this scene right here? What is this right here? I mean, are we shitting me? As a country, I mean, tell me that you've fallen as a nation. Tell me that you're crumbling as a society. Tell me that your government is not doing the deeds of its people. Tell me that it is authoritarian, and tell me that you have a fascist government in place without telling me that you have a fascist government in place. And if I was to show you anything, and if I was to fucking maybe put out a quick little clip of what it means to have a fascist government, zip-tied seniors in their fucking wheelchairs as they protest what the Congress is about to strip from them as far as health care, as far as benefits to get, like I said, fucking oxygen, to get wheelchairs, to get other medical equipment. Now we got them zip-tied with fucking 12 cops around them like they're dangerous, right? Like they're some sort of fucking threat. So if there's anything that your parents or your family or anybody else that you know questions about the authoritarian nature of what's going on, show them any fucking ICE video, show them any fucking video of ICE going into a Home Depot parking lot or chasing, family, immigrants with families that are out there picking our fucking food across the fields of California and other states, arresting. Yeah, check this out before I let you go. As long as we're on the topic, you make sure you show them this. Show them that when they're fucking old and in wheelchairs and need fucking federal assistance and state assistance and other social programs to make sure they get their oxygen to breathe and their wheelchairs to fucking get around in. And then when the government tries to strip all that away and you protest, you will be put in fucking zip ties and be surrounded by fucking SS guards like you're some sort of threat. But check this out. Ready? Here. Let's see if I can find this real quick. Pardon me. Just give me a second. How do I get to my own account? Notifications, explore, chat. That's not what I want. Let's see here. I know I posted about it. Just give me a second to find it. Share this tab instead. You might as well be able to see what I'm going to do. Give me a second. Man, I post a lot. Did I already go buy it? I know I post about it, but if not, I'll look it up. Let's see here. Headaches, that's not it. That's Fetterman. That's not that. Oh, that's another article that you should probably. In real terms, consumer spending has now fallen so far in 2025. Inflation is ticking higher. Job growth is slowing, and retail sales are sinking. So anybody that wants to tell you that the economy is in the right way, look at this fucking disgrace. That's... Oh, yeah, they think that looks good. That's the issue. That's the one they're putting up. All right, I must have posted it somewhere else. Let me see if I can find this for you. ICE arrests. All right, yeah, here we go. See if I can just show this to you real quick.
They had us all surrounded.
Terry Lopez talking to us from her hospital bed after agents released her and sent her home, she says, following this arrest Sunday at Hawthorne and 120th, caught on video.
I had lost my balance because he was kind of like shoving me away from the door. That's when I kind of just like leaned forward because I was kind of trying to protect the stomach.
That's her. That's
Video
her right
from
there.
Neighbors we obtained showed them.
That's her, pregnant, being arrested and handcuffed by 3 different fucking ICE agents, masked ICE agents. And again, this whole masked bullshit needs to stop because we've seen upticks in people impersonating ICE agents to gain access to homes, to try to gain access to different fucking private facilities, right? So that's one huge reason why masks should be illegal for law enforcement agents, right? You should be forced to be visible, to identify yourself, to be accountable for your actions. What's the point of a fucking body cam if we're then just going to put masks on all our fucking cops, right? Really takes the fucking point away from body cams if you're just going to put everybody in masks. But yeah, let's let this play out.
Calling for her release, you can hear passerbys honking their horns in protest. Lopez says agents took her into custody, saying she was trying to obstruct their operation. We reached out to DHS for comment and have not heard back.
I'm gonna need you guys to leave. This is private property.
You can hear Lopez on this video she shared with us confronting agents.
So that's her earlier in the video. That's like basically the extent of her protest and like trying to, get in the way, right? Do we think that warrants an arrest of a pregnant woman? Do we think that warrants an arrest by 3, 4, 5 different masked, unidentifiable fucking ICE agents? I don't.
as they pulled up to the building where they were working doing maintenance. The agents were in marked Border Patrol vehicles. She says her husband and coworker, both undocumented, thought they were being followed by agents when they tried to pull into the building's private parking. Her and her cousin, both U.S. citizens, opened up the gate for her husband to enter. They thought agents needed a warrant to enter as well.
Excuse me, ma'am. Listen to me. You're interfering with my arrest.
I was blocking the doors because they were trying to forcefully open them. But I told them they were on private property.
She says agents said it wasn't private property and arrested her, her husband, cousin, and coworker.
I wasn't resisting.
And it doesn't stop there, guys. It doesn't stop there. Doesn't stop there. Yeah, check this out. There's this one too. I mean, you can pull these up all day long. All day long, you can pull these up. Yeah, here you go. Here you go.
New here at 6, a father of 3 U.S. Marine sons is at the center of a disturbing viral video that shows immigration agents punching and arresting him. He was taken into custody while working a landscaping job in Santa Ana. Eyewitness News reporter David Gonzalez spoke to one of his sons and has his reaction to the video that is getting so much attention.
Give me your hand.
I've never heard of my dad like that. Never heard him in pain.
Multiple videos shared on social media show a Tustin man being punched by Border Patrol agents as they try to detain him in the middle of a busy intersection in Santa Ana.
Fuck you. Fuck ICE. Abolish ICE. You fucking masked pieces of shit. Every single one of you. You fucking SS Gestapo motherfuckers need to be fucking reprimanded and arrested for your actions. Arrested for assault and battery on a fucking citizen. Arrested for an assault and battery on a human, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But you're all sick fucking thugs. These are the people that are supposed to go in war zones. We're supposed to be the people that are going to the wolf pack and take out all the criminals. Where are the fucking criminals? Where are the fucking criminals? I don't see any criminals. I see a father of 3 Marines, a Marine fucking veteran, being punched in the face on the ground by 7, 8 fucking different masked men. That's what I see.
I felt a lot of anger. I was really mad. And then I was really sad as well. I just wish I could have been there to help him.
Alejandro Barranco says his father, 48-year-old Narciso Barranco, is the man in the video. Alejandro says his father was working a landscaping job at IHOP off Edinger Avenue and Ritchie Street on Saturday when he was approached by agents.
There's also something showing that about, I think the number was 185,000 people have been rounded up in the, I want to say, the Los Angeles area over the past few weeks. And a very high percentage of them have not committed any crimes, have not been accused or been found guilty of fucking any crimes whatsoever. And thank you so much, Thomas. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the $5. That is so nice of you. Please, again, nobody ever put yourself, in a financial position that is taking away from somewhere else in your life in order to contribute to the show. Please don't ever do it. If you need that money to go for fuel or food or your kids or whatever it may be, lunch for the day, use it for that, please. I do not want anybody's last dollar. I do not want anybody that's on the ropes financially to be coming out of pocket with any money. Only the people that are fortunate enough to be in the financial position to do so do I ever ask for them to contribute. I do not want anybody putting themselves in a financial hole because of me. That is insane and ridiculous and the complete opposite of why I do this. So thank you so much, Thomas, and everybody else, that Corbin and Peter and Pierre and Jen and everybody else that sent friend requests or Venmos. You guys are fantastic. I really, really do appreciate it. Let me get into thanking all of the super chats and super stickers. I'm gone over. I apologize. Nordez, as usual, thank you so much. Hope you and Rosanna are well. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Please make sure we're thanking people that are gifting memberships because it is a huge boost to this channel. Thank you so much, Sheldon, as always. Seems like the 1-2 punch here. Nordez and Sheldon, the 1-2 punch. Cool Breeze, thank you so much. It gets crazier by the minute. You're absolutely right. Congratulations, and thank you so much on being here for a year as a member. That is fantastic. I love the dog's look on that picture. It's fucking fantastic as well. But thank you. Huge help, huge boost. Thank you for being here for a year. A real warrior, a real soldier. I thank you. Rosanna hit. Speaking of which, speaking of the devil, we are the resistance. Let's fucking go. I love this community. Thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much for enjoying and appreciating and being a part of this community. We are very lucky to have you, and very lucky to have all of the courageous and active fighters that we have in this chat. Luis, thank you so much. I only hope to make your Sundays better. And Luis, don't forget, I'm also on Tuesdays during the day now. I'm also on Wednesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Again, on Thursdays during the day here, let me just put it up so you guys can see this. So Luis can make his accurate assessments of what shows he wants to watch. But yeah, this is the schedule. Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. That is the show you're watching now currently, in case you didn't know what day it was. Tuesdays at 2 p.m., 11 a.m. Pacific. Wednesday night show. And then the Thursday day show, same times as Tuesday. So added a few shows on there for you guys. I hope to see you all back in the chat for as many of those shows as you possibly can. Again, I know there's other shows out there and other people you want to watch, so I can't expect all of you to be there every show. But whenever you can make it, if you can watch the show after it posts, I would appreciate that just as much. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Luis, we left on. Wayno been here for 11 months. Let's fucking go, Wayno. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Colleen, for checking in. She's probably still watching the reading of that bill. Let's go. Bridget, thank you so much. What's up, Boston Brian and Lobsters? Let's throw out a lobster to the chat. What do we say we throw out a lobster?
I mean, they've been conserved since the time of lobsters, right? There weren't trees around when lobsters first manifested themselves on the planet.
No, that's how important and beneficial and long lasting you guys are. You were here before the trees, and I appreciate it. Let's go, Slacks. Appreciate you, brother. Love to you, Mel, Dungaree Dog, Logan, all the Bryantologists. Right back at you, Slacks, from all of those people. Slava Ukraini, Heroyam Slava. Thank you so much for your continued support. I really do appreciate you, my man. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for contributing. Hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you for all your fight, she says. Thank you for the fight for our democracy, Brian. It is not only my pleasure to be on what I consider the right side of history, but it is my pleasure to be side by side fighting for democracy with wonderful and beautiful people like you and the people in this chat. It is really it's an honor to be able to be a part of this fight, to be a part of the resistance, to be able to, build a community against fighting, against fascism and fighting the illegal, unconstitutional, inhumane, Islamophobic, homophobic policies of Republicans, conservatives, and the GOP. So thank you so much, Crystal. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Punisher, let's go, JJ. What's up, brother? Appreciate you. You know, the screenshot is fake because it doesn't say Newsom. Yeah, like how he has him in his contacts, right? So, why is your name different? Why am I seeing your name different? I don't know if I ever got the answer on that. But JJ, I like JJ as a nickname anyway. I think we'll go with that. Laurie, thank you for becoming a new member. Look at you go. Appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Wes coming in with the Ray Bork. When Dems take back the House after the 2026 elections, Big Donnie will be reined in. Make it happen. Unfortunately, too little, too late. Wes, I 100% predict the same outcome, and wish and pray and will work as hard as I possibly can to get that same outcome. But unfortunately, it's almost too little, too late as far as reining in Donald Trump. That should have been done really early on in his political career. But I appreciate the support. I think you're 100% right on the Dems taking back the House. And thank you for being here, Wes. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend, my man. Let's see here. Who's next? Moms in Venmo. Oh, yeah, I said thank you. I got it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Moms. Hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Hope you're well. Look at JD. 10 fucking gifted memberships. Let's go, dude. Let's go, JD. I appreciate that. 10 lucky people in the chat received new memberships. Thank you to JD. Make sure you're thanking him if you received one of those memberships. And even if you didn't receive one of those memberships, please thank him for helping grow this channel and helping making this channel what it is and what it will become. So thank you. And just because I want to support you, thank you, huh? I appreciate that. just $10 just because. What a really nice gesture and something that I appreciate very much. So, Hod, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. George, what up, Jorge? Member for 8 months, says, love you all. Right back at you, George, my man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Marsha, thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. Graham, thank you so much for not only the $10, but the information. Very appreciative on that one. Yvonne, you're never late, Yvonne. Never late. I appreciate you and you showing up all the time, whenever it may be. Jim the Geek, been here for 13 months, says 9/11 when the U.S. went nuts. I don't know if we could actually... I don't know if I could say that's not true. I think we could actually say, like I said, I described in this show, if you want to go back, if you didn't listen, how complicated the post 9/11 U.S. situation is and was, as far as not only coming together, but also the hate and division that came from that as well. So, Jim, I appreciate your input. Thank you so much for your contribution. Saying thank you so much for being here for 13 months as a member. Just a huge show of support there. Yvonne, coming back to give 5 memberships. Let's fucking go. Appreciate you, Yvonne. Fucking appreciate you. You wanker. Sorry, I had to get one in there. What's up, Mikey? What's up, B Mike? Hate will always lose. It absolutely will. It's just a matter of how long it takes. And my job and our job is to make sure that that time frame is as short as possible, to make sure that hate loses as fast and as quickly as possible. We are winning in some areas and we're losing in some areas, but we still have a lot of work to do. Thank you, Bicycle Mike. I hope you're feeling well, buddy. Thank you so much again for your contributions and your actions against the ICE agents. Impede, get in the way of, provoke, demean, disrespect, film and follow, hashtag film and follow all ICE agents wherever they go, because you never know when you're going to get something, like this on video, right? You never know, because this is why you film and follow right here, because things like this happen when fathers of Marines are punched in the head on the street.
Patrol agents as they try to detain.
And we only know because people had their cell phones out filming and following ICE agents. So kudos to everybody that is doing that. Thank you so much to Bicycle Mike for stepping up in a huge way. Thank you so much, Peter Mooney, for the $5 contributions and the information. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Nordez, again for another 5 gifted memberships. You guys have been absolutely insanely fantastic today with your generosity. Thank you, JD, for a profanity bonus. That is always needed because, as you know, blunt politics and blunt, doesn't hold back. We don't hold back, and it just made me sick to talk about this show in the third person. Can we skip ahead in this story to the time when he shoots himself in his bunker? Right, talking about Hitler and the Nazis. Again, a huge point that these Republicans seem to forget was the ending to their story that they seemingly are following now. That book does not have a happy ending for Republicans. I don't know if they made it that far yet, though. Marsha, thank you so much for the $5 contribution. No masks on cops, ICE, etc. Badge numbers and names on full display. All agencies grabbing folks off the streets. Let's fucking go. You're absolutely right. Body cams, badge numbers, faces fully visible. You should have to identify yourself. This is getting fucking way out of hand here. This is beyond fascist. This is beyond the Gestapo. Like this is not Gestapo like anymore. This is the fucking Gestapo. The United States now has its own Gestapo roaming the streets, ripping people out of their homes, ripping people out of work, out of schools, children's out of schools, out of hospitals, out of courts. Doing as they please, punching people in the face, regardless of their, health situation, if they're pregnant, regardless of their citizen status, if they're legal citizens, doesn't matter. So fuck ICE, abolish ICE. I appreciate you, Marsha. You're 100% right. God's one Nephilim says, sorry, but not sorry for saying Republicans are shameless monsters. Shouldn't be sorry. Shouldn't be sorry at all. They absolutely are. And again, we do have to walk a fine line. I understand with, it's like getting down on their level and using the demeaning rhetoric, but there is not many ways to describe a political party that wants to tear away healthcare, that wants to tear away benefits that lead to, I don't know, oxygen for people breathing or food on people's plates. I don't know what else you call a political party that is okay with deporting U.S. citizens to El Salvadorian prison camps that are more run like concentration camps. I don't know what else you call people like that other than monsters. People that don't believe that trans people deserve to have rights, that don't believe in same-sex marriage. What else do you call people like that? I don't know. So it's hard to walk that line, but I appreciate you, brother. Did you see Jimmy the Giant's new video on Ukraine? I did not, Rachel. I will have to check that out. I appreciate that. And Rachel, feel free, if you see videos like this that you think I should watch or play on the show, send them to my email, bostonbrianmtn@gmail.com. Yvonne takes full advantage of it. Alyosha, you saw I played his memes, takes advantage of it. So if you think, just mark, something I should watch or something that you think would be good for the show. And I would be more than happy to take the input of people in the chat on what we should be covering and stuff. So thank you, Rachel, for the information, and thank you for the contribution. Boston Brian, well, humble and funny. Thank you. I appreciate that. I can't say either of those myself. I'd sound like a dick. Tracy, thank you for becoming a new member. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that, Tracy. Thank you for becoming a new member. That's very nice of you. I appreciate you wanting to help this channel even further than the free stuff. So thank you. UK pensioner, our system looks after the old Slava Ukraini. Yes, Ali Orki, absolutely. Definitely, we have miles and miles to go as far as sculpting our healthcare system so that it benefits everybody in our society in the most impactful way, right? So as a UK pensioner, I'm sure, and like you're doing now, can attest to the fact that you are being taken care of much more than, say, veterans coming back from war, or, the elderly and pensioners in this country are looked after and taken care of. So thank you, Eliorki, for your input, your contributions. And it's I'm very happy to hear that you're being well taken care of. Thank you for the 15 pounds. Appreciate that very much. Let's see here. Bobby Slacks, let's go. The Bryantologist Brigade. Let's fucking go, bro. Appreciate that. Let's fucking go. Rachel's back at it. I appreciate you. Rachel Obama tried to put a Band-Aid on a festering wound. Wow. What were we referencing in there? I appreciate the contributions. I forget what I was talking about because I'm sure it makes total sense. I forget. Rachel now rounding it out with another $2. No one from the White House went to the Minnesota funeral. Oh, yes. Right. Let me see here. Good call. Let's see here. Let me see if this is just to show just a little bit of the humanity, I guess, right? This goes along with what you're saying, Rach, as far as people not attending. So Minnesota lawmaker shootings. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris attended the funeral. Tim Walz gives eulogy. So again, just to show the difference and again, putting aside the political differences you have with Joe Biden, putting aside the political differences you have with Kamala or Tim Walz, this is just a good depiction, a good representation of the compassion and empathy and the difference of humanism and humanity on the left and on the right. Right? I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think this shows very well, because a very good depiction of just the difference, again, in humanity and the beliefs of humanism on both sides of the political aisle. So thank you, Rachel, for bringing that to my attention. I do appreciate it. I will now let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you have not yet, please subscribe to the channel. It is free to do so. It takes 1 second to click that subscribe button. You can also, like I said, leave a comment, throw an emoji in the chat. Mel worked really hard on the emojis. She's worked really hard on the background. She's worked really hard on the graphics and the thumbnails in trying to make this into a more professional, actual political stream. So big up to Mel, big up to the mods. And again, Mel, thank you so much. I love you. I appreciate all the work that you do. And again, thank you to the mods for everything that you do and keeping the chat safe. You guys are really the backbone of this channel. And again, thank you to everybody. Obama didn't prosecute Gitmo. I got you. I got you, Rach. I got you. I got you. Big Dog says, thank you, Brian. I need to go back. I need to go back and watch from the beginning. No problem, my man. That's the good thing about YouTube. It's always going to be up there. But again, I'll let you guys go. Enjoy your Sunday, the rest of your weekend. I will see you guys Tuesday for the day show. It's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Let's throw that up there again, just so we're sure. Just so we're sure. These are the new show times. Let me take away the banner so you can see the bottom. That's my fault. That's my fault. How do you do that? Not 100% sure. No, there we go. All right. So I will see you. Next show will be Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Join me because who knows what craziness is going to ensue between now and then. And I will do my best to bring you the news and the coverage I believe that you deserve. So thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Once again, this is Blunt Politics, the Blunt Politics podcast, the podcast that tries to sift through the bullshit of the mainstream media, that tells it like it is, right? That makes sure that you are hearing it from one of your peers, your own, not being talked down to, right? But studying and learning together with the great people in the chat. So I appreciate you. I hope to see you Tuesday. Thank you so much for your contributions and your repeated, helping of this channel. It really means a lot, and it helps immensely. So thank you. I'll let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Again, I am Boston Bryant. This is the Blunt Politics podcast. Make sure to like it on the way out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Get out there. Get off your seats. Get out of your sheets. Get into the streets, right? Stay loud. Stay proud. Get aggressive, but keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you're staying safe out there, okay? I appreciate you guys. I really do. Fuck ICE. Abolish ICE. I'll see you guys Tuesday. All right? Take it easy. Later, guys.
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
Fucking Nazis.
Brian, you're drunk. You're drunk.
We appreciate those camels. I haven't seen camels like that in a long time.
He's always calling me Little Marco. And I'll admit, the guy, he's taller than me. He's like 6'2", which is why I don't understand why his hands are the size of someone who's 5'2".
Taking it back to Nevada where he's wanted for banging horses. I didn't say mud, I said crud. You fall into some crud or something?
He says rectum damn near killed him.
Where you going?
Nowhere.
Just tell you that a con artist is about to take over the Republican Party and the conservative movement, and we have to put a stop to it.
It is a profound honor to be the beautiful new stadium to be here with you. Obama. I'm just an average guy who read public documents where the elite said they were going to enslave us and destroy America. And I'm not going to be like yuppie scum and deny the threat to my country. I'm going to fight back.
All right. Well, anybody that bet on 2 tries to get out of here, you just won your bet because I forgot to click that button. All right. Take 2. See you later. And yeah, abolish ICE. I don't even like ice in my drinks. Mel can attest. That's how much I hate ice. I'll take a Coke, no ice. I'll take US, no ice. How's that? I'm out of here. Take it easy. Love you guys.
when you ran out the healthy arms, you ran out of really healthy. They had great arms, but they ran out. It's called sports. It's called baseball in particular, and pitchers, I guess you could say, in really particular.
What uranium is, right? This thing called nuclear weapons and other things. Like lots of things are done with uranium, including some bad things.
Gettysburg, what an unbelievable battle that was. The Battle of Gettysburg, what an unbelievable, I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many different ways. It represented such a big portion of the success of this country. Gettysburg, wow. I go to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to look and to watch.
Go fuck yourself.
Tell the director to call the White House. Do your fucking job!
Never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill. They were fighting uphill. He said, wow, that was a big mistake. He lost his great general. And they were fighting. Never fight uphill, me boys. But it was too late.
Call them dumps. Big, massive dumps.
The big, fat, sloppy United States.